Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. Fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Lowe's, Levi's, and Nike pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. And Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cash back. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? It's a no-brainer. Membership is free and easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cashback really adds up.
Your weekly dose of romance and drama has arrived. Season 29 of The Bachelor is here, and Grant Ellis, certified hottie and former day trader, is trading his day job on Wall Street for a second chance at everlasting love. New episodes drop every Monday at 8/7 Central, bringing you fresh twists in Grant's journey to find his soulmate. This self-proclaimed mama's boy is all grown up and ready to invest his heart. Will his playful charm win over the house full of hopefuls, or will the competition prove too intense? From heartfelt moments to adrenaline-pumping dates, each week brings new surprises in the mansion. Will Grant find his perfect match or end up with a broken heart? Tune in every Monday at 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu for new episodes of The Bachelor.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us on another awesome, amazing, hilarious, and crazy downhill slide of an athlete. Let's hear somebody fall from grace, shall we?
Okay.
We're back into the brain damage sports this week.
All right.
With a boxer who is an absolute goddamn maniac, and it's awesome.
Really?
It's just great. There's corruption in his home country. It's so fun. So we'll get into all of that very quickly. First of all, shutupandgivememurder.com is the site.
Oh, what is that?
Head there. All the merch you could want, coffee cups to skateboards to shower curtains, you name it.
Yeah.
It's there. Get all of that. Also, tickets to Small Town Murder live shows you can get, including the 420 virtual live show.
Fuck yeah.
You're going to hear a wild murder story just like a regular live show. We're dressing up, and I'm going to I have a plethora of smoking apparatus to scare the shit out of Jimmie with and force him to smoke out of. So let's see how stoned I can get him by the end of it. It's going to be so much fun.
Boy.
We cannot wait. Shutupandgivememurder.com. You also certainly want Patreon. Patreon.com/crime in sports is where you get all the bonus material.
Right.
$5 a month or above gets you the entire back catalog, a couple hundred bonus episodes, including new ones every other week. And this week is no different. For Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about something that definitely isn't sports, but needs to be backed by popular demand here. Personal ads.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yes, I love the personal ads. Let's find out how people used to try to find love. Before you could swipe in any direction, you had to put an ad in the newspaper underneath an ad for a station wagon that's used and has 40,000 miles on it. Hi.
You may as well scream out the window.
It's awesome. And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about a very weird thing here. The Collier brothers. Not a small town, it's not murder, but man, is it weird. There is death involved in it. These two people hold themselves up, two brothers in this brownstone in New York, and by the time they were dead, they had to cut walls out to take them out of there. And they hoarded like mazes of things and newspapers stacked to the ceiling. It's crazy shit. We'll talk all about that. Patreon.com/crime and sports, and you get a shout out at the end of the show as well. Jimmie will mess your name up. Don't you worry about that.
Probably.
So, absolutely. God damn it. While you're here, you should also, of course, listen to Small Town Murder and your stupid opinions. Because,
oh, boy, is it fun.
Wow, is it fun. You want to hear about a fuck Uzi? We got that for you. The cervix slap chop, we called this, the other things. All sorts of weird stuff and weird opinions to hear about over there. So
Peach Chewy Panties.
Oh,
Enjoy.
that's this weekend. Dominoes is also very funny. So there's so much stuff on that show.
Domino, thank you.
Domino, thank you. Oh, it's fucking hilarious. So that said, let's get into this. What do you say
All
here?
right.
With our asshole of the week, and he certainly is an asshole, Ricardo Antonio Mayorga Perez.
No.
Ricardo Mayorga. You know who he is?
No, I imagine a boxer.
You've seen him fight. Well, yeah, because I said we're doing a boxer, so it'd be weird if now it wasn't.
Did you say boxer?
Yeah, I think so. No, I said brain
boxer.
damage sports, maybe.
Yeah.
But either way, Ricardo Mayorga here, you've seen him fight, I guarantee it, because there was a stretch where he was on like 5 big pay-per-view main events in a row against big opponents. Like he fought De La Hoya and Mosley and Vargas.
Is he Cuban?
No, he is Nicaraguan, actually.
Okay.
But he fought all those guys. So he's like, he was like the, opponent du jour for the welterweight division in the late 90s.
Did he win?
Basically.
We'll find out.
Well, he had not in life, I'll tell you that much.
No?
He's a disaster. Nicknames for him. First, El Matador is the one, which is the killer. If you don't, we know a matador with the bull, but in the actual translation is
the word matador means
killer, and he has that tattooed on his neck.
Matador or killer?
El Matador tattooed on his neck.
Wow.
So that would be the equivalent of an American guy having the killer tattooed on his neck, which you'd look twice at that guy. Your daughter brings him home, you're like, where did I go wrong here? Did I not spend enough time with you? What happened?
What I did wrong?
Yeah. What's the problem here? And also El Loco, they call him too, which is he's fucking crazy. Yeah. So he's a crazy killer. There you go.
Well, that's good.
It describes him well. Born October 3rd, 1973. So he's only 50 at this point. 5'10". He's, like I said, he's in that kind of 135 to 147 was that was his sweet spot when he fought in there in the welterweight, and then he moves up, and he'll end up like heavy later on and fighting in like super middleweight, which is like 175 or some shit, 168, something like that. So he really puts on some pounds and puffs up pretty good here. We'll talk a little bit here. His mother, her name is Miriam del Socorro Perez.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
That sounds poetic, doesn't it?
My God.
That's an operatic name. Miriam del Socorro Perez.
Del Socorro.
Del Socorro.
Oh, my.
She's a stay-at-home mom. Father is Eddie Mayorga, and he has a bunch of different jobs, but I guess his baking is one of his main jobs, being a baker.
That right?
Yeah, so Dad's off to work at 2:30 in the morning. That's interesting.
Yeah, making the donuts.
Yes, we'll talk about this. I'm just going to get it over with now because we don't have dates. Whenever his marriages and his kids, it all takes place in Nicaragua. So I don't have access to records here really or anything. Nicaraguan birth records are sketchy.
They don't file those with us.
No, so I don't know when he got married and had kids. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about his wife and his kids now, and then we'll talk about his childhood. But his wife is Yesenia Vanessa Lobo.
God damn it.
And he has a son. And what does he name him? Ricardo Mayorga Jr., of course. So,
of course,
right off the gate here, he's coming out hot. Then we always say, Jesus, enough with the juniors. You think that's weird.
Yeah.
He then has, and I don't know, he might have more kids than this, but I know he has at least these 3. He then has 2 daughters a year apart from each other. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's not weird. People do that.
Yeah.
The weird part is he names them both Diana.
Diana?
Both of them. They're a year apart. They're sisters who are a year apart, both named Diana. I guess
that lends to he might be fucked up that he
forgot
already.
I'm not sure.
But he has the wife there to tell him, no, we have one.
She's nursing a black eye from the last time she reminded him about something, so I feel like... So she might not,
Yeah.
be looking to say much about his memory at this
She
point.
might have a T-bone on her face.
Yeah. They have like 5 houses because he keeps thinking I got to buy one because he forgets they have a house. So she just shuts up and fucking cleans them. You know what I mean? She's very terrified at this point.
Oh, boy.
So he's born in Masaya, Nicaragua.
Yeah.
Raised in complete poverty. Also, terrible neighborhood, awful environment, poor.
Yeah.
And poor meaning we say poor, not American poor.
No.
America, we
Nicaragua.
There's poor people here, but you can go to the worst place here and then go to a place that's poor in Nicaragua, and holy shit, those people, it's night and day. It's compared to our worst place. You know what I mean? Is
that where the hissing cockroaches come from?
The Madagascar.
Yeah,
that's an island off Africa. That's very far away. So
I don't even know what Nicaragua
Central America
exports.
Cocaine
Exports. And tobacco, yes.
Cocaine. So he says he was a gang leader also, Ricardo.
I believe him.
Which that's the thing. He's self-proclaimed. We don't know that if it's true or not, but at the same time, judging by his later exploits, I'd buy it. He was raised mostly in Managua, which is the capital of Nicaragua and the largest city. And he, like I said, let me tell you about poverty, okay? Him and 5 siblings and mom and dad lived in a 1-room, and I'm talking not a 1-bedroom, a studio that's, tiny.
Yeah. Everything's right there.
With a dirt floor
wow.
and just cinder block walls. Just that was it. There's no drywall. There's no insulation. There's no... It's just you stacked up cinder blocks in a square and then raised a family inside of it. That's it.
Oh, my.
That's the house. Like, there's no, I didn't mention plumbing or anything like that.
Yeah,
there isn't any.
right.
That's the point.
Holy.
So that's what I mean. American poor and Nicaragua poor. Third world poor is different than first world poor. It just is. Any poor is bad poor, but that's even worse. Mayorga would later say, quote, "I come from a country where everything is war. Even the women are tough. In Nicaragua, women give birth wherever in the middle of the street in the countryside with no medical attention. You see that, and it puts a totally different perspective on things."
Get out of here.
Yeah, they just are going about their errands during the day, and they just stop on the sidewalk, pop a kid out, and then go pick up the dry cleaning. Well, not the dry cleaning, because I doubt it.
But
then go grab some fucking fruit for whatever, some vegetables
go buy a loaf of bread.
Yeah, with the kid in your hand. Going,
good Lord.
Do you have a scissor back there behind the counter? Can you just...
Can you cut this?
Let me give you a little clippy clip first, and I'll take a loaf of your rye. Your marble rye. That looks good. So his father he is called a bull of a man by people. He's this tough son of a bitch.
Baker bull. Yeah.
Another bull here. He would obviously beat the shit out of all the kids as well. Mm-hmm. And Ricardo said that's where I got my toughness,
that's not positive.
Where he got the living shit beaten out of them.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
Very strange. Later on, even more strange about his parents, later on he'll become a very successful fighter that will make a lot of money. If you're a main event challenger on a bunch of pay-per-views, you made millions back then. And millions in Nicaragua go very far. Like, you get yourself $5 million, you go down to Nicaragua, you are the king of Nicaragua. Like, it's a lot of fucking money. So
until somebody kidnaps your family.
Well, they'll hold you for ransom. You got to have a ransom. You definitely got to have a ransom backup supply there, like a ransom
burn
account.
Pit.
Yeah. You got to have like Robert De Niro in Casino, where he's got like $3 million stashed in the safe deposit box in case I can't get to this. Here's my key. So later on, Ricardo will buy them an 11-room mansion, a big, giant, beautiful, modern, perfect home. And
$37.
They don't move into it, his parents. They stay in the cinder block dirt floor hovel that they come from.
Why'd they do that?
They just didn't want to move there. They were more comfortable there. They weren't comfortable living in a nice house, they said. So they had this house that they just didn't use. Ricardo said they became attached to the place where we suffered through such poverty. Mm-hmm. He said he spent his teenage years in a gang. And he said, people pointed guns and shot at him and everything else. So during his teenage gang years, he has about 6-7 knife wounds from then. Scars from knife wounds from his
He got stabbed
years.
up?
He's got a nice scar on the top of his head that was from someone clanking him with a lead pipe. So brain damage before he's even boxing, which is always
For
great.
sure, yeah.
It's always good when a fresh brain isn't good enough to put into the ring. He's also fighting in the streets all the time. So that's how he started boxing, is he said, why am I fighting in the streets?
Survival.
People make money for this. And any money is, if you live with, a bunch of people in a one-room place with a dirt floor, any money's great.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Also likes to drag race at one point here. He likes to go down to this one street that's the red light district. And he had a Honda with a, kind of souped-up Honda that he would like to drive through really fast through the red light district here and, go around people and drive like a maniac. Yeah, I'm sure it is. It's in Nicaragua in the 80s. I don't know what the hell, or 70s.
CRX? Probably a CRX.
Maybe a CRX or even a little, like a Civic maybe.
Prelude or a Civic.
Yeah,
probably
like
a CRX.
Probably
Those are badass.
You could soup them up pretty good. Why not?
Fuck yeah.
So he started boxing. There was a teacher in school that originally had told him about boxing, said, well, maybe you want to redirect some of this behavior because you're really a violent person. So you should try to do that here, because he attended a military school at one point.
Is that right?
Yes. But if you live in the streets, it doesn't matter what you're trying to do. If you're always in the streets and there's gangs and all that, it's kind of tough.
Streets will make you do what they want you to do.
Streets will find you. Yeah. So that's what he was doing. He would, for a while, what he would do is he would hang out at truck stops.
Oh.
Okay. And offer to fight truckers for money.
Oh.
Like, let's fight, and if you can beat me up, I'll give you $50, but if I beat you up, you give me $50. So unsanctioned truck stop fights is what he was going for.
So you could get a blowjob from a nice young lady, or you can fight that kid.
Or you can fight a child, one or the other. If you beat the child, then you have blowjob money. So really, it's a one-stop shop for these truckers. It's a good stop.
Who knew the market at a truck stop was so diverse?
It's very different. I'm sure there's drugs there too. Like the truck stop is where to go.
You can really do some damage there.
No shit, man. You gotta burn money going right through your pocket there. Burning cash. So the truck drivers thought he's an easy mark. Like, look at this little skinny fucking kid. I'll fight him. So they would fight him, but then he would beat the shit out of these truckers for the most part.
Of course
because he's like a crazy street kid who's getting hit with lead pipes.
Right. He's aware.
So he would end up doing that. But then, that wasn't really going well. So we'll talk about his first fight here. So he starts amateur boxing, and he won the national championship, as a matter of fact, and was the Central American Golden Gloves champion as an amateur as well.
Out of the gate.
Right out of the gate. He had 103 amateur wins, and I think 5 losses, something like that. He's a very aggressive fighter. He's an entertaining fighter. Like, they put him on main events of pay-per-views because he doesn't stand there. He's coming at you. Yeah. He's trying to knock you out. He's a very entertaining fighter. He's all balls. You know what I mean? That's just his whole style. Yeah. So that's how he is. His favorite boxer is Sugar Ray Leonard, which is weird because it's the exact opposite style of him.
Yeah, Sugar Ray was fucking style, class, and dance and make you miss.
Speed, make you miss, Olympic style. I'm going to hit you more than you hit me type of shit.
Right.
Different type of fighter than Mayorga. Mayorga will take a blow to give you a blow. He doesn't care. He's like a little welterweight Rocky Marciano is kind of how he fights. Yeah. So his first fight is in Costa Rica in 1993. That's his first professional fight. It's against a guy named Jose Morales, who is 8-11-1, and it ends up 8-25-1 for his career. So
he doesn't win another fight.
He doesn't win another fight. They say his first pro fight, though, was before this, but there's no record of it. But he went to Costa Rica and fought for $30 in his first pro fight and got TKO'd in the 6th round. So, but that's not enough. No one has like official shit, but it was a fight. He went and fought for $30. So this fight here, Jose El Indio Morales, he beats him, we think, in the 2nd round. They even say the date on this is approximate. Nobody really knows when this happened.
We don't know what day it happened.
July 20th, ish 1993. We know it was the summer of 93. We got that much probably, but
wow.
That's how that's why I don't know when he got married or had kids. They don't even know when he fucking had a fight, for Christ's sake. I can't.
Unbelievable.
You think they keep track of when people were born? So probably not. So yeah, he goes on from there. Now he's a pro in August 13th, a few weeks later, 93. He fights Jose Miguel Alvarado. This is this guy's pro debut.
Yeah.
And his whole career is 0-1 because he loses this fight.
Demoralized.
That's it. This makes him This makes Ricardo Mayorga not only 2-0 in his pro career, but 2-0 against guys named Jose. Also,
yes. You better watch out, Jose. He's coming for you.
He is coming for your ass. Next up, he fights a non-Jose. September 5th, 1993. Humberto Aranda, and his nickname is El Maestro, the Maestro. Yeah. So
it's fascinating how well I do with Mexican names and Latin names.
Yeah, yet, you grew up in Phoenix,
but Italian fucking crushes me.
They're different. They're different.
It's similar, but just different enough that it scrambles my brain.
I can't tell you the number of times I was called Pietragallo while I lived in Phoenix. So.
They rolled the R and everything.
Yeah, Pietragallo, and I'm like, nope, that's not. Other one,
afraid not.
Nope. Other side of that C. The L's are hard there. So, El Maestro's 3-0 coming into this fight, 37-16 for his career, and this is a loss for Mayorga. Mayorga does not come out for round 6.
Oh,
so yeah, he's 2-1 now. Next up, David Salguera. This is in Guadalupe. This is in Nicaragua. Okay. This guy's 1-1 coming in. He'll be 1-9 for his career, so not great.
Oh, Jesus.
And we know that he lost to Ricardo here in the 6th round with a TKO. But there isn't even a fucking venue for these fights, by the way.
Probably not.
We don't know. That's what I mean. It might have just been in a field.
Been in the street. We don't know.
I don't know how this happened. This might have been in a Denny's parking lot for all we know. An El Denny's parking lot. I'm not sure. It's possible. El White Castle out in the parking lot. Let's get it on, fuckers. So January 28th, 1995. He goes about a year and 4 months without fighting after the David Salguera win here. He's making him 3-1. He fights Miguel Angel Perez next up, which sounds like an AI-generated. Give me a Spanish guy. Miguel Angel Perez. Perfect. That'll work.
Done.
Yeah.
Can't make his hands, but you can make that name.
Name generator. Boom. Out. 9-1 coming into this fight. So very good record coming into this fight. And he'll end up 11-13-1. So not good.
Wow. It went awry.
Yeah. He goes 2-12 from this fight on. So.
We also haven't heard of a man that becomes a challenger at some point who didn't come out for a round. You know what I mean? Like, who genuinely threw the towel in. That's never happened before, I don't think.
Usual. I mean, it happens sometimes, but this is for the Nicaraguan super lightweight title, which somehow these two are going after. A 3-1 fighter and a 9-1 fighter are going after this.
It's vacant, obviously.
It's apparently
got stabbed.
Yes, someone died. Someone died from lack of municipal sewage or something and had some disease. So this is a TKO in round 6, making Ricardo the Nicaraguan super lightweight champion, and making him 4-1 as well.
Fascinating.
Next up, Benjamin Rivas, February 18th, 95. This is his debut fight and his last fight, all in one. Opening night, closing night. Let's go. This is a TKO in the 8th round. So 5-1 for Ricardo. He won again. Next up, in September 95, Adolfo Mendez, alias Omar Mendez. Don't know why.
He's running from somebody.
He's hiding. I don't know what the deal is. But either way, Omar or Adolfo gets knocked out in the 2nd round. So really doesn't matter at that point. Adolfo's a 1-4 career fighter.
Oh, no.
Not great. Next up, Miguel Angel Perez again for some reason. He's back here. And Ricardo beats him again. 3 rounds this time, making him 7-1. 7-1. Next up, 1998. So from December 16th, 95, he doesn't fight again until January 6th, 98.
3 fucking years?
Which makes me, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm pretty sure that he probably was in jail during that time. In my opinion, he's in jail. But he's not famous enough for anybody to report on him being in jail. That's what I think happened here. Because why else would a guy who's fighting every month or every few months
and the champion
for a year? Yeah, and he's a champ, not fight for years now. It doesn't make any sense. So next up, he fights January 6th, 98, German Espinales. And he's 10-0 coming into this fight.
Oh.
Not bad at all. His career, though, 10-7-1. So he never wins another fight.
How?
Weird, right?
We've heard him being retired, like this is their last fight because they got just beaten. But they get beat, and then they go on to lose so much more.
Yeah. Sometimes a TKO like this getting beat, it fucks somebody up. They can't recover from it. Like this,
their life.
It does. I mean, a draw was the best he did for the rest of his career.
Wow.
It just changes how you are. Plus, if you're 10-0, then they start putting you in the ring with actual fighters at that point. They're not just building your record. So then you actually have to be able to fight. So this is a 4th round TKO for Ricardo, 8-1. Next up, May 16th, 1998, Roger Benito Flores, who's an 8-8 fighter coming into this fight. And this goes all 10 rounds, and Ricardo loses it by a unanimous decision, too.
Huh.
Yeah, the unanimous decision loss. So
Flores had him the whole time.
Yeah, Ricardo, like I said, he's not a points fighter.
Yeah.
So if you go the distance, you got a good shot at beating him because you're probably
he's coming at you.
Yeah, he's coming at you. He's not trying to get points. He's trying to knock your ass out.
And after 10 rounds, you're gonna get slower.
Yeah, that too. Less aggressive, possibly over the time. Next up, September 13th, 1998, Henry Castillo he fights, who's 11-1 coming into this fight. Again, decent fighter. This goes all the way to the distance again, 10 rounds, and this is another loss for Ricardo.
He should not be doing this.
That's not great. So
you got to end him early, otherwise you lose.
You lose against mediocre fighters. Castillo retired at 12-2.
Jesus,
his next loss ruined him. So he's 8-3 now. Ricardo fighting Rafael Valdez, who's 2-6 in his next fight, knocking him out in the first round. Ricardo had to get that.
Go. That's what you do.
And that's what they do. After a guy loses like that, they like to put him in the ring with a guy that they can really just tee off on and get some confidence back. If they could put him in the ring with like a 5th grade girl, they would. Just beat her ass. Rock those ponytails, you know what I mean? Make them fucking twirl. Spin that bitch's ponytails, would you? Just knock her ass out.
Knot her braids like a cherry stem.
Yeah, boom. So... Henry Castillo, he fights again, the guy who beat him last time. This is Castillo's last fight, by the way, because he is knocked out in the 7th round by Ricardo. And Castillo thinks better of his career decisions at that point.
Okay.
Next up, Walter. This is June 12th, 1999. So Walter Palacios, nickname Litron. Okay. 9-1 coming into this fight. And this is a win in the 8th round, knockout for Mr. Mayorga here. So he's 11-3. Next up, Jose Laca Cordoba.
Laca, that's a great name.
Laca, like Waka Waka, but Spanish.
Yeah. I wonder what that means.
I'm the Spanish Fozzie Bear. Laca.
Is that no? It's loco would be a chick. I don't know what laca means.
I don't know either, but he's that twice. So there he is.
Crazy chick.
He's 11-8 coming into this fight, and this will be the last fight of his career because he gets knocked out in the first round, and again, thinks better of his career decisions. Next up, Giovanni Duran, 4-12 coming in, and he doesn't fare much better. He's knocked out in the 4th round. So 13-3 for Mayorga. He had to build up all this type of shit.
Sure.
Next up, November 7th, 1999. One of the strangest nicknames I've ever heard in my life here. Okay.
Here we go.
Dios Beliz Hurtado is his name. I'm going to show you a picture of this man.
Okay.
There's a picture of him. See him?
He looks like Floyd Mayweather.
Very similar looking to Floyd Mayweather. So
very soft looking man.
Okay. So you picture him. He looks like a... he looks like if you just looked at him and saw his picture,
Pretty Boy Floyd.
Looks like a black guy, Central American guy, Spanish guy. Nickname, the Oriental Kid. I give up. I fucking give up. I have no idea anymore what's going on in this world.
First, you can't say that word. Second, you're not.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can say Oriental rug.
Maybe.
Yeah. So he's an Oriental. I don't know. I don't understand it. Ramen noodles still have Oriental flavor.
They do, yeah.
So, I mean, whatever. But the Oriental Kid.
Fascinating.
I don't understand. And then his other nickname is Black Money. So what the fuck are you talking about is what I'm getting at, Hurtado. What's your story?
Maybe he's just a big fan of ramen noodles.
Maybe. He just loves it. So he's 30-2 coming into this fight, though.
Mm-hmm.
And this fight is, due to an accidental headbutt, is stopped in the second round and called a draw.
Oh.
So 13-3-1 for Mayorga. Next up, Marco Antonio Avendano. He's 13-0 coming into this fight. So this is a big fight for Mayorga here. He's got to really prove himself, and he does with a second-round knockout of this guy.
There you go.
This guy will go on to be 30-11-1, too, so he's a decent fighter. Yeah, not a bad fighter.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them, or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
So 14-3-1 for Ricardo. April 7th, 2000, he fights the German Espinales guy again, and he beats him again with a knockout in the 4th round here. Manuel De La Rosa up next, 12-0 coming into the fight, and he's knocked out in the 1st round.
Holy.
And the rest of his career, he'll go 1-10.
What the fuck, man?
I'm telling you, it just ruins their confidence. It's
an early shot like that will make you second guess every punch you throw early, for sure.
And it's that thing of boxing is an instinctual aggression thing. So if you have a slight, and it could be a millisecond of hesitation of he's going to punch, I'm not going to punch right now, you're fucking dead. You can't do that. You have to go in and have no memory of ever being beaten up.
And if you're 10-1, everything you've done up to this date has pretty much worked except for one time.
Yeah. Well, this guy was 12-0 coming in. So
12-0. Nothing's never not worked.
Everything's gone great. And then he goes in and doesn't even get out of the 1st round. Is knocked out. So he's like, what the fuck just happened? Shit. Destroyed him. Ruined him.
I was doing everything I've done 12 times. I did everything the same.
A guy can take a loss by points because that happens. Because you can say I got robbed if you want to. And you can make yourself believe that if you really think that way. Or if a guy, it's a war and in the 11th round you guys are fucking throwing blows and one of you guys gets and you get knocked out. People can live with that generally.
Sure.
But 1st round knockout is like,
round. That's,
what
and you're
did
12-0.
Yeah. Then you feel like,
oh my God,
you don't want to get hit again because you'll get knocked out. So all that confidence you have had your whole life building to this point, gone. It's a lot.
Being knocked out sucks.
It sucks. No one likes it.
Oh, God,
especially in front of a bunch of people who paid to watch it. That makes it even worse.
Yeah, people saw that.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oof. June 3rd, 2000, Elio Ortiz, nickname El Chingo.
I don't know what that means either.
I'm not sure. We need a dictionary, a Spanish dictionary when we do episodes like this.
Well, these are all like slang, too.
That's
like,
the other thing, yeah.
Chingo's, isn't that fuck?
Beats me.
I don't know.
El Chingo, 19-4 coming into the fight.
Yeah.
He said fuck after the fight because he lost in the 10th round, got knocked out. So like he can probably be fine after that because he got knocked out in the 10th round of 12. This was for the WBA what the fuck is that word? Feda Latin. Okay, like Federation Latin. Feda Latin super welterweight title.
Okay.
So now he's a champ here, 17-3-1. He fights old Litron again, who we still don't know what the fuck that means, and beats him with a unanimous decision, goes all 10 rounds. So now he won a decision.
Right.
So that's good. He's pointing with people, 18-3-1. Next up, Filiberto. And his delicious tacos.
Tell me about those burritos, friend.
Filiberto and his delicious carne asada burritos. Oh man!
So good.
If you live in Phoenix, you know what we're talking about.
Just meat and cheese.
That's all you get on. You're gonna shit yourself silly later, but man, are they good. Your insides will liquefy, but it's worth it. It's so worth it.
Pour the green sauce right into the burrito.
So you can barely fit it in your mouth. It's just such a
so big.
I would love a carne asada burrito from Filiberto's. So
they're amazing.
Filiberto Alvarez, 4-4 coming in. This goes the distance with a 4-4 fighter, and he wins this fight. And this is for the WBC Fekar Box Super Welterweight title. So now he's got 2 belts.
Yeah.
Building up here. Next up, he fights November 24th, 2000, Elvis Guerrero.
Oh,
that's so
he's not dead.
That shows you that how far Elvis went. Yeah. Some Nicaraguan guy was like, "We will name him Elvis." That's fucking
so
awesome.
He wears blue suede shoes when he boxes.
Yeah, his nickname is La Cobra, which isn't that feminine? La
Cobra, yeah, but the feminine is for cobra because cobra has the A on the end, so you got to say you can't be El Cobra, right?
But
it has to be La
Cobra's
Cobra.
not a that's not a the A on the end of Cobra isn't a
right
isn't a gender
right, but a trash can, a basura is also wait, that's El Basura.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It doesn't make sense.
Wait, is it La Basura?
Even like we
I
can go.
I don't know.
La Cobra.
But there's feminine and masculine nouns, and I think
neither
Cobra
of us
is just one.
know Spanish nearly enough to know
It might
what
be
this
El
deal.
Cobra.
We have no idea, but he goes by La Cobra, so
it should be El Cobra. That shit is dangerous.
Maybe he's L.A. Cobra, like he's from Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Cobra. Maybe that's all it is. He just forgot to put dots in there,
like a WFL team.
Yeah, exactly. That would explain Elvis a little bit more too. Maybe he's just from like East Los Angeles.
He's L.A. Cobra.
You know what I'm saying?
LA
He's just
Cobra.
L.A. Cobra. He just shortened it. It was ELA Cobra.
Like L.A. Mike.
Yeah.
It's not La Mike.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Could have L.A. Mike Richardson. It wasn't La Mike. So who knows? We don't know. We haven't figured it out. But either way, Elvis is 8-3-1 coming in, and he gets TKO'd here by Mayorga in the second round. That is Mayorga's 20th win, so 23-1. Next up, El Gato Adolfo Salazar. So there he is, the cat. He's very nimble, I suppose.
Nimble,
He's
fast.
15-0 coming into this fight.
Fuck,
That's pretty nimble. And Ricardo knocks his ass out in the first round.
Oh, you beat that pussy up.
Knock the bottom out that pussy.
It's too much fun.
Too much. 23-3 for his career, that guy, too. So he recovered. Next up, Elias Cruz, alias Policia.
Oh, the police?
The police.
What?
Elias Police Cruz.
What is happening?
Okay.
Big Sting fan.
He loves it, yeah. He's like, every breath you take, I'll be punching you. That's what he says. That's his. He said. That's how he closes out interviews. Just so Ricardo knows, every breath you take, I'll be punching you, senor. And then he leaves. Where the fuck is La Cobra, too? I'm going to fuck him up, man. Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
So this is at Mandalay Bay, though. This is not the
Is that
first
right?
That I've seen the first fight in America that he has here. Yes.
Fantastic.
So Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, and this is a third-round TKO for Mr. Mayorga. So
that's fantastic.
That's good shit. And that after that, the next month, Don King spots him in Venezuela. Or I think he knew of him from Mandalay Bay and probably went to watch his next fight.
He probably followed him to the airport and went right the fuck with him.
He flew next to him and shit. Ordering him like shrimp cocktails on the
Yeah.
So this is March 2001. Mayorga recalls King handing him $15,000 in cash when he met him.
Yeah.
Here's a pile of cash. Don King is not stupid, and he does his research. And if a guy has been in America fighting once and 3 years ago fought for $30, if you give him a stack of cash, you got his attention right there.
You bet.
He grew up on the dirt floor.
My business card is in between some of those hundreds. Find it.
Yeah, look through it.
Yeah.
He also gave him he offers him another $10,000 if he comes to meet him in Florida. He said, if you come meet me in Florida, there's another $10,000 for you. So $25,000 just to talk to me. How's that?
Oh, okay.
I'll talk to him about anything for $25,000.
I talked to a man about timeshares just to get a free trip.
I got $100 one time to listen to like a 2-hour speech.
Yeah, I got tickets on a boat to an island 5 miles away. That's what I got, and I sat through it.
That's what I mean. And say what you will about Don King, scumbag, criminal. We'll do an episode on him, so you'll know all about it. But besides all of that, fucking entertaining guy to sit and watch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you want to talk to me for a while, I'll watch you act like a jerk off for 20 minutes and then take $25,000. Sure.
Yeah.
He ended up he ends up making Don King a lot of money here.
Yeah.
And Don King said, I tell Ricardo all the time, you're going to conquer America.
Okay.
Grace. That's grace.
America needs conquering.
Don King handed you a fucking massive pile of cash and said, you're going to conquer America. And it doesn't get any gracier than that, right?
Yeah, that's as grace as it gets, it sounds like.
He's got belts on him. He's he's doing well here. So he didn't give a shit about coming to the U.S., though. He didn't want to come here and live here or any of that bullshit. He didn't care at all. Nope, didn't want to do it here. They said that for his first fight under King, it took weeks to convince him to leave his home to train away from Nicaragua. He just didn't want to leave. He likes it there. They go there, and it's a King's Fort Pierce training camp. And it said there's mildew all over it. It's a shitty place, so maybe he'll feel good about it. Later on, the gym is converted to a funeral parlor, which is funny.
Really?
So, yeah. He would just take off from the training site. And go back to Nicaragua.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one morning, where the fuck is Ricardo? And he's in Nicaragua is where he is. He's gone. And Don King said, if you leave again, I'm taking away your American visa. And, because it's a work visa. So he's like, I'll say you're not working. And Mayorga said, quote, I don't need an American visa to go home. So I don't really give a fuck if you take away my American visa.
You take away my visa, I just can't come back.
And I don't really want to. Don't really care about doing this. He's only doing this for money. He doesn't really want to be here. So July 28th, 2001, Andrew Louis Elias, his nickname is Six Heads. So I'm curious to see him without his pants on, see how many are there.
Also, I've never heard of anything that has 6 heads.
No.
I've heard of a hydra. Isn't that 8? I
think he has 6 eyes, I think, are on certain things, not heads. That's interesting.
6 heads.
6 heads. He's 21-0-1. So 6 heads has been beating people's asses pretty good here.
6 cabezos. Yeah, he's doing great.
This bout is ruled a no contest in the second round. It's a Lewis cut caused by an accidental headbutt. So no contest. Never happened. So March 30th, 2002, they fight again this time. And so same records. Andrew Lewis this time gets TKO'd in the 5th round by Mr. Mayorga here, and this is for the WBA World Welterweight title as well.
That's the one.
That's a big bite, big belt, and Mayorga's not a big training guy.
No,
he's not a guy that's like, he's not a guy that's like, I get up at 3 and do road work and I only eat fucking egg whites for 3 months to cut my shit.
Right.
He doesn't do any of that. He shows up at the post-fight press conference smoking a cigarette with a beer in his hand, which is fantastically charming. I enjoy it a lot, obviously. But
I'm impressed if you can do that and win.
That's what I mean. I don't know how the hell you can be a professional boxer and have the ability to go 12 rounds in a fucking ring while you smoke cigarettes. That's insane.
Yeah,
that's like,
it's the thing that diminishes cardio fastest.
How do you breathe through that? Vlade Divac used to fucking smoke like 3 packs a day while playing in the NBA, and I don't know how the fuck he did that either.
He did?
Yes, he smoked like 3. They said you never saw him without a cigarette. He was constantly smoking.
Vlade, is he dead?
I don't know. He looks like a guy who smokes 3 packs a day, doesn't he? And would would sell you a stereo out of the back of a van while smoking.
So, I didn't know he smoked
a lot. Yeah, like an Eastern European amount of cigarettes.
Right, like a guy with a thick accent would.
It was like, when I was a child, they came and took my little sister and cut her head off with machete. Like, he's that guy. He looks like he comes from a, machete cutting country.
Looks like a
Civil
guy that
War
asks,
country.
do you have a light? Absolutely.
Yeah. So 23-3-1 for Mayorga, and cigarette and beer and a new belt, and he's doing great.
Yeah.
So, he did fantastic. It was a big fight for him, too, because it's obviously an undefeated guy. Mayorga at his press conference said, I'm a champion because I'm a man.
Is that right?
I'm no La Cobra. Bitch.
I'm a man too. I'm not a champion.
Jesus. Before the fight, he had threatened to break Lewis's ribs, knock him out early, and make him retire early. Also, so he's going to retire when he's done with this. Not far off though, because after this fight, he'll only have a few more fights. Andrew Lewis.
Really?
He's 21-0-1 coming in. He ends up 23-4-2.
No shit.
So I don't think he lost his will to fight after that.
How were his ribs?
His ribs seemed okay. Not bad. So Mayorga, they're talking about him fighting Vernon Forrest next, because Forrest had just beaten Sugar Shane Mosley for the WBC title at that point. So they're talking about he's going to make a lot of money for that fight. For the fight he just fought against Lewis, Mayorga made $140,000 there.
Oh, my.
That's what he said. He's going to use that money to buy his mother a house. It's his first big payday. So he said that's his house money. And Mayorga said, I want to thank my mother for her suffering for having a boxer as a son. Which is, that's stressful.
Yeah,
I would
that was
assume.
a very Merle Haggard thing to say right there.
Yeah. Lewis said, I'll go back to the gym and train. I'll be back. He wasn't back much longer, like I said. No. He was.
Sometimes I'll be back.
Yeah, that's it. He said, King said, because I asked King, he's smoking and drinking and he's a boxer. Like, is that okay?
He really is doing it.
He said, I'm not going to challenge his habits. He said, what he said was, some of the greatest fighters from the past like to drink and smoke, and I'm not going to tell a guy who just knocked somebody's ass out, an undefeated fighter, how to fucking live, basically. Don't touch him. That's how he does it. They treated him.
Some of the greatest did?
Yeah, back in the day they did. I'm sure Sonny Liston was a fucking, he was smoking and drinking and all that kind of shit.
Smoking Joe smoked, didn't he?
Not since the 60s, though, guys haven't done that.
Yeah.
Now guys are all about cardio and all about, this is like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
He's fighting like Oscar De La Hoya and shit. These guys aren't smoking generally.
No.
So, drinking maybe,
but not smoking.
Yeah, absolutely. But not smoking, though.
Yeah.
And drinking, they drink, but not while in training. They usually cut it off when they go into training. Yeah. That's how it works. So Mayorga's manager said his fighter had abstained from drinking and smoking during training as well. But Mayorga said, when it was really cold, I'd sneak a cigarette once in a while.
Wow.
I don't know, cold air makes him want a cigarette. So 2003 here, they're talking about this unification bout possibly for all the titles and all this type of shit. And Mayorga wants to fight Vernon Forrest, and he says, quote, I plan to whip him like a man whips a boy.
Very Ali.
Wow, yeah. Ali, but also with like a weird sexual undertone to it I don't care for.
Well, There's a sexual undertone, but also if it's not sexual, it's absolutely child abuse.
It's one of the two, yeah.
One way or another, it's illegal.
Like a man whips a boy. It just sounds... Whips is the word.
Yeah.
Beat would have been different, but whip sounds sexual for some reason. Forrest is a 6-1 favorite, though.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a problem here. Forrest said,
that's because he's the champ, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Forrest said he just beat Mosley. So Forrest said, I'm the best welterweight in the world at this particular moment, and I'm planning on unifying the title, then going on. Mm-hmm. And Mayorga said, I don't know, quote, the only way I found out who Forrest was is when he beat Mosley. Now he's fighting Ricardo Mayorga. Now people will know who Ricardo Mayorga is.
Okay, yeah, okay.
He wants to make a name for himself. He made a name for himself against Mosley. Now it's my turn, is what he's saying.
I didn't even know about him until just a minute ago.
That's fair. Now, if you're perusing the paper, reading these comments, thinking, wow, this Ricardo Mayorga sounds like a nut, right below his comments are something maybe to do later on. The sales, Jimmy.
Hell yeah.
You can head over to, if you happen to be in Tampa in 2003, you can head over to Sophisticats.
Oh, what is that?
Lingerie modeling.
What?
I don't know. And then it says 2001 and 2 Night Moves Awards, Best Lingerie Shop, Best Models. So it's a lingerie shop where there's people modeling lingerie, I suppose.
Who knew?
I didn't know that was
Florida.
A fucking thing. They say Abby, Ariel, Heidi, Jenna, Ryan, Madison, Danielle, Savannah, Kiana, Marsala, and Ashlyn are all there for you. So
my word.
I want to hit that up. So June 25th, 2003, Vernon Forrest, 35-0 coming into this fight.
Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. This is a big fucking deal. No one knows who the fuck Mayorga is, really.
Mayorga didn't know who a 34-0 fighter was?
He knew who he was.
I think he knew.
The point was, he's an unknown, Right. Now he's known. This fight is a big fucking fight. And he comes out and absolutely fucking dominates Vernon Forrest.
Manhandles him.
From the start, drops him in the first round, then in the third round, and the ref calls it off. Third round TKO for Mayorga.
It's almost like when you grow up poor and have fucking nothing,
weird,
and you have to fight for it. You seem to be real good at it.
When you fight grown truckers for food, you tend to be a little hungrier than someone who came up in America. And that means in the worst circumstances in America still was not that. It just isn't. So
you're just not as hungry and desperate to survive as Mayorga's going to be.
And Forrest was bigger, stronger fighter, too. He's taller.
He's a good fighter.
He's a great fighter. And he celebrated by smoking in the ring during the post-fight interview, which is fan-fucking-tastic.
The most disrespectful thing.
Well, let me tell you guys, it's fucking amazing. Like post-sexual, man, I could use a sandwich, but first,
spent.
I'm feeling very loose right now. I don't know what it is, just real loosey-goosey like.
I don't even respect my body that just beat the shit out of you.
Does he come when the ref waves it off? Is that it?
It's got to.
He's like, oh, God.
Where's the Marlboro?
Okay, give me a minute, guys. We'll talk about it. Hold on.
My God.
So, it's a big deal. His coach, Stacy McKinley, gave up trying to stop him from drinking and smoking, he said.
Yeah,
I gave up.
What are you going to do?
He wouldn't stop. He said that he ended up making a deal with Mayorga, saying that he allowed his fighter to smoke and drink. He said, quote, I could deal with the champ. He's smoking cigarettes and drinking beer. Okay, that's fine. We going to make a deal, though, champ. What's the deal going to be? Monday through Friday, you're going to train, you aren't going to smoke, and you ain't going to drink no beer. On Saturdays, you can sit behind the camp. I'm going to get you a case of beer and a pack of cigarettes, and you can smoke all day.
Okay.
You've got to understand one thing. He was going to do it anyway. So if I could just push it into one area, a pocket I wanted to have it.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's water coming down. You can redirect it, but stopping it's not really going to work. He said, you've got to understand one thing. He's going to do it anyway, so it was my way of managing it. I had to manage it. You've got to be thinking outside the box.
Sure.
He's just nuts, is what it is.
So, what are you going to do about that night when he's fucking jittery and he's had enough and he just wants a goddamn cigarette?
Who the fuck knows? That's what I mean. I don't know what's going on here. But they talk about him. Now there's big stories about him. I'll read you the first paragraph here. There can only be one man. There can only be one place a man learns to fight as Ricardo Mayorga does. See the wild punches from unschooled angles, not rationed for 12 rounds, but spent in angry bursts born of an empty belly. And you know his story. Mm-hmm. An empty belly causes him to...
A starving, desperate man.
Yep. He says through his translator and co-trainer, Hector Perez, says, it comes from the streets. It comes from being mean and hungry, running the streets like a dog, doing whatever you have to do in order to survive.
Jesus.
That's it, yeah. Mayorga said that I was the rooster of the neighborhood, he talks about.
Yeah.
He said that when he was 16, this doesn't, oh my God, he doesn't keep it just to people that piss him off too, by the way.
Oh?
He pulled a mongo when he was 16.
Punched a horse?
A horse kicked him, apparently, so he knocked it out with a punch. He knocked it to the ground with a punch. I don't know if that's true, but that's a legend of his neighborhood that people saw him knock a horse out, like Mongo from Blazing Saddles.
I hope it's bullshit, because that's crazy.
Yeah, and they said, remember that, they remind you that, remember that Nicaraguan horses are smaller and skinnier than American horses, his trainer says. So he didn't knock out a Clydesdale. It's a smaller, skinnier horse, but still
a fucking horse.
They said very weird. So yeah, Vernon Forrest was from Atlanta, fought very few horses and probably had food growing up. And Vernon Forrest said he was a mystery then and he's a mystery now. He's like, I don't know where the fuck that guy, he just came out of nowhere and, did all that shit. So Forrest's trainer said he's strong, he just throws punches. He has no direction on his punches. What we worked on every day is to keep your hands up when in close. You just can't trade punches. You've got to finish yours and step around his. And that's what it is he's so unconventional that the punches don't come from angles normal punches come at. You don't even know where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Because you're trained, this is how you fight. This guy's going to fight you and you're going to fight him, and this guy comes at you all unorthodox.
Yeah, but what kind of roadmap is that from your fucking trainer? If your trainer tells you step around them and you don't know where they're coming from, fire him. Because the whole point is know how he throws punches and train me to block them.
Yeah, nobody really knew that much about him, and most of his fights they probably had 2 fights worth of film on him. The rest of them were fucking in Nicaragua somewhere.
Sure.
They had no idea how to you couldn't even really.
But a guy tells you throw your punches, you never know where they're coming from.
But it's a Rocky Apollo Creed thing.
Yeah.
Unorthodox. He's coming at you unorthodox, and Apollo had no fucking film to study on Rocky, and so he didn't know where the hell these left hooks were coming from. They're flying from every direction.
Step around them, though.
So this is wonderful. Mayorga, through his interpreter here, relayed a message to Vernon Forrest, which is fucking hilarious. Here is his interpreter, quote, he says he's very upset that Father's Day passed and Vernon didn't get him anything.
What?
He says, quote, he knows who his father really is, and Mayorga says he will soon punish him like a father does a son. He knows who his real father is, and he should have bought me a present.
Before Twitter, he was claiming to be someone's father. That is awesome.
Wait till you hear what he says to De La Hoya. It's the greatest in their own words of all time. I have to give like a disclaimer that this isn't coming from, don't isolate this, please, the whole deal. It's a lot.
He told him, Father's Day just passed. You didn't get me anything, young man.
I'm disappointed in you. Wow.
I'm going to go hard on you, Beef.
Holy shit. That's
amazing.
His translator also said, he gets into everybody's head, even mine. The man talks day and night. One of the things I'm always talking about is that he can say anything he wants, but he has to back it up. When I ask him for more sparring or a little more in the gym, I use that on him. Like, well, you talked all the shit. Now you got to get in here and do all the fight. They say he drives. No one wants to ride with him in a car because he drives like a fucking psychopath.
Awesome.
Everywhere. He's nuts. He also wants to build the first drag strip in Nicaragua so he can fucking be a drag racer in Nicaragua. Yeah. He's insane. One quote is, this is Perez again, Quote, he's a character. I'll be driving in traffic, and he'll put a towel over my head and say, you ever tried driving blindfolded? That's not a character.
No, I have not.
That's a crazy person. That's a
Can you see? No, I can't see.
In a romantic comedy, the charming Sandra Bullock character does that to show what a free spirit she is, and then she like blows him afterwards. You're like, this girl's wild. I have to be at my accounting job at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Stop doing this. Yeah, they said that he's just everything he does. He's smoking cigarettes. They said he's been known to eat a pizza as he was being weighed in. So he's just being weighed in, eating pizza.
Unbelievable.
He, drinks beers at the post-fight, does all of that shit. One guy said here, I don't know. I do know he doesn't do what he says, smoke and drink every day. The guy trains very hard. I do know that much. And a lot of it is marketing.
Yeah.
He does. He'll drink and smoke on the weekends, but during the week,
he calms it down.
You got to train. You can't come into a fight not training and win. It's just not going to work here. Mayorga said, quote, through Perez, we don't know our destiny, but if not for boxing, I'd probably be in a very dark world, either in jail or a drug trafficker. There was nothing else in my future. So now he lives in a gated home in Nicaragua here in the city and everything like that. He bought his parents a house, which is obviously they're not even living in. And he says, quote, being poor is what really has made me strong. I always try to stay hungry. I worry that after 2 or 3 more fights, I won't be poor anymore and I might lose my strength. I'm betting everything I have on this fight, which is my family's future. I really don't need to talk before this fight. In my mind, I've already knocked Forrest out.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
So there's a rematch here, July 12, 2003, and the night before the fight, Mayorga is seen on the floor of the casino where the fight is taking place at 3 a.m. smoking a cigarette with a strange woman on his arm and a fucking stack of chips gambling.
Unbelievable. He has to fight tomorrow.
Tomorrow is a fucking fight with a guy who was 35-0 before this last fight.
I mean, hit me. I'm sparring right now.
He stumbled up to his room about daybreak and fell asleep in his street clothes and woke up a couple hours later to go get prepared for his fight.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, you can't do that shit.
He thinks he's that much better?
He's just, I don't know what it is. It's insane. He says, I am a fighter, with or without bad habits. This is what I am. When people like somebody, they accept the way they really are.
Just love me, goddammit.
Just love me. And his trainer says he's a very unique person. He's a handful. Sometimes he talks and does things he's not supposed to do, but when I ask him to do things in the gym, on the road, or with sparring, he does it. He's the kind of person that can go 3 days without sleeping, taking only little cat naps.
Yeah.
He said, I might get upset with him, and he will say, okay, what do you want me to do? And I will tell him to go train, and he will do it. He also says that he's very charitable. He says he gives his money away to people back home that need the money. When he comes into a fight, he wants to be broke so he can fight like he's the challenger.
Wow.
He has to get rid of all his money. That way he's hungry. Otherwise, he's afraid he won't have the same hunger because
if I don't win, I'm not gonna make it to the next fight.
That's what it is. He said he wants to take care of business back home, not only for his family, but for his friends and neighbors. He wants to build a drag racing strip. Perez also says he wants to do this not only for his bad habit, but for other people's bad habit and to get them off the street. And he wants to win this fight because he wants to go to a village that has never had lights, spend $100,000 so the town can have lights.
Just build a couple of transformers.
Yeah, there's these villages there that have no electricity, for Christ's sake. In the 2000s, they have no electricity. So
he's just trying to put some street lights up for him.
He wants to put lights, wire the town for electricity so people can have electrical shit. And it's important stuff there. So, he's going into this fight. Mayorga says, quote, I do not care if Vern Forrest chose to stay away and not help with the promotion, because Vern Forrest wouldn't say a word. Right. When someone is scared to fight, they are even scared to talk to reporters. I think it will work against him because it will only inspire me to fight even harder. I'm going to knock him out in the second round. Okay. So during this fight, this is a very fucking interesting thing here. This fight goes the distance.
So much for the second round.
But in the fourth round, I've seen this, Mayorga drops his gloves to his fucking side and telling Forrest to fucking hit me. Offers him free shot. Yeah. Forrest hits him. Mayorga then starts hitting his own face and saying, harder, fucking hit me harder. Let's go, motherfucker, knock me out. Let's see what you can do.
Is that points for him?
No, the judges will take that as he just got 2 good shots in on you.
Right, yeah.
But at the same time, if you're a judge, you got to go, let Forrest fucking nailed him, and he barely even fucking flinched and came back at him, Mayorga. So he got open, clear shot, hit me in the face, and did nothing to him. So at that point, that's got to kill you if you're Forrest. I can't knock this guy out, even if all things
lays
are perfect.
It down.
Yeah. Mayorga afterwards said, I wanted to show I was the boss. I was his father.
His father.
His father.
He wants to be El Padre.
I want to be your father. I want to name you Diana.
Hit me, Diana.
Yep. He says it was stupid and reckless, but it did what he intended it to do, which was change the whole fight.
Scared Vernon out of his pants.
And he wins by decision in a 12-round fight. Yeah, so Vernon now 35-2. And 25-3-1 for Mayorga, and that's how it is there. So he's ready to fight again. And Perez says he says it's always something with Ricardo. Look, he's a great fighter. Is he a little crazy? Yes, but in a good way.
Okay.
Yeah, Mayorga wants De La Hoya next.
Is that right?
He's beat Forrest twice now. He's the fucking champ, so he's looking for it. He wants to fight De La Hoya. He
gets to pick the challenger, more or less.
He's the champ. Yeah, you want to fight. The money fights with him. So he's got all the belts, so now he can choose his opponents pretty much. He said, my purpose right now is to fight Oscar De La Hoya. Honestly, I dislike him. I will fight in any weight class. He's like, this doesn't even have to do with belts. I just want to kick his ass. That's it.
I want to fight that guy.
Yeah. Mayorga said that the fight against Forrest was kind of ugly looking, but he's happy he won. He said, I would have looked better if he had traded punches with me. It's hard to look good when you're doing so much chasing.
Oh,
because they learned last time, you don't go in close and try to trade punches with this guy. He'll fuck you and knock you out. So, do that. He said that, quote, I proved that the first time I beat him wasn't a fluke. I proved that I could take a punch and go 12 rounds, which is absolutely true. It's all the things people said he couldn't do.
Right.
And he did it. December 8th, 2003, there's a big Sports Illustrated article on him. Oh, yeah. This is an interesting, I'll read you the first little thing here. Somewhere it is written that professional boxers must adopt a nom de ring, no matter how trite or ill-fitting. Thus, the pugilistic landscape is littered with the ponderous cheetahs and gelatinous rocks. There are more Rockies than there are Rocky sequels. Then there is Ricardo Mayorga. The welterweight champion might be nicknamed El Matador. It's even tattooed on the side of his neck. But the handle could scarcely be less accurate.
Oh.
Matadors can succeed with a combination of grace and precision. Mayorga does his with sheer power and aggression. If anything, his moniker should be El Toro, the bull. He is rash and impetuous, while matadors are calculating and poised. Yeah. Perhaps most telling, while matadors merely flirt with death, Mayorga all but stalks it. He has a notorious pack-a-day smoking habit, and of course his line of work isn't exactly OSHA approved. They're talking about how he's breathing life into the sport because this is when kind of the De La Hoyas and the Mosleys and all those guys were kind of on the backside of their shit.
Yeah.
And so they needed new guys in these weight classes to come up.
Yeah.
And they said he is. Don King says, quote, Ricardo Mayorga is the truth, and that's no lie.
Okay.
Plus,
That's confusing as fuck.
Plus, he has the adrenaline to meet the prophecy.
What?
He's got enough energy to get where I just said he's going, basically.
It's prophesized?
He prophesized it. Don King did, yeah. Which is ridiculous. So he says he gives his order to a waitress, they're talking about, at breakfast, and he announced to his dining companions, it's a good thing I don't speak better English or I'd romance all your women. Like, I'd fuck all the women, too.
Women.
I just don't know how to speak enough English to do that.
I'm El Padre.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. His next fight's going to be against Corey Spinks, who's Leon Spinks, who's a great episode we did, Leon Spinks, who's got an enormous penis.
Giant crank.
That a woman wrote poetry about his dick. It was so amazing. He says to Corey Spinks, this will be the biggest purse and the biggest beating you'll ever get.
Okay.
That's right. They do that. He said, I don't do it to show off, talking about smoking. I'm addicted. Okay, yeah, we figured that. That's what you're doing here.
Not doing this for fun.
Yeah,
this is what I do.
This is just what I do, goddammit. So, yeah, this Sports Illustrated just talking about what an oddball he is and everything like that. He says that he has the same friends that he always had in the streets when he was a kid. He says all these bums, he calls them. Those are his friends.
Yeah.
All the bums. He said, sometimes I go to my friends' houses and they want to serve me food on their best plates, not the paper plates they normally use. I say, I come from poverty. Give me the paper plate. I'm no better than you are. I still think like a poor man.
Yeah, well, I'm just afraid you'll punch me if I serve you that.
Yeah, I would not want to be disrespectful. So he is very much wants everybody to know that he's not like high-hatting anybody. He's not acting like he's fucking better than anybody.
Sure.
They said that he prayed that he'd never kill anyone in the ring because that's what he does. He doesn't want to kill anyone, he said. They said, do you ever pray for your own safety? And he said, never. I hit harder. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So December 13, 2002 or 2003, Corey, the next generation Spinks, who is Leon's son, 31-2 coming into this fight. This is for the IBF, WBA, and WBC welterweight titles here. Mayorga is penalized a point in round 5 for hitting after the bell, and also a point in round 11 for holding and hitting.
Oh,
which becomes a big deal because the fight goes the distance and he loses a split decision.
Oh shit!
So losing 2 points over the course of the fight
cost him the whole fight.
That could very easily cost you the fight here. So Corey Spinks unifies all these belts now. He was a 5-1 underdog and all that kind of shit. So yeah. Mayorga said afterwards, okay, he's going to say a word that isn't politically correct to say here, and we understand and all that kind of shit, but it's him saying it, and it's crazy, and there's no, there's no way to say it. You'll understand.
Yeah.
So
and what year was it?
This is 2003. Either way, to say this in public has always been a little bit weird, but I'm going to read it. Here it is. Don't fucking isolate this, please, as my normal thing here.
Yeah.
Quote, Spinks, you are a faggot. I want to sew a pair of nuts on you so you can stand and fight in front of me next time like a man.
Okay.
That's what he said. Sew a pair of nuts on you.
He's a ballless.
A ballless, yeah. He's more like a eunuch, really. I don't know what that has to do with his sexual preference being, but whatever. So, yeah, he's 25-4-1 now. He fights Eric Murder Mitchell next. So we got the killer against the murder. Nice deal here. 16-3-1 for this guy. This is at Madison Square Garden. And this goes all 10 rounds. And Ricardo wins a unanimous decision here. So good for him. At this point, June of 2004, he says that he's bored with boxing.
It is so boring.
It's so boring. He plans to retire after 2 more fights. He says he's got a bunch of money. He says, quote, I have bought 5 very big houses, 2 farms with a good amount of land, and I have money saved. I don't want any more boxing for anything. Yep. Wow. He just wants to build his stock car track.
Nicaragua is cheap.
It's insanely cheap. Yeah, you make a couple million, you're good. I mean, especially 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So June 18th, 2004, here, he will be unable to attend his scheduled title bout promotional press conference in New York City because he is accused of assault in his hometown.
Oh, no. In Nicaragua.
Yeah, he is accused of assaulting and threatening the life of another man. The judge ordered an arrest warrant for him, and he has to turn himself in to face the accusation and blah, blah, blah. Mayorga said, if it had been me that beat the guy up, you guys know what I'm capable of as a fighter. I think he would be in the hospital or broken in half. So he said, it wasn't me, is his thing. Yeah, I'd have kicked his ass much worse than that. Which is
somebody just slapped him up.
Which is a decent defense if you're this lunatic.
It's not bad.
Did he have cigarette burns on him? Then it wasn't me, obviously. He posted a $316 bond and took off. Then September 3rd, 2004, he's arrested again. He's arrested on suspicion of rape this time, though. A little bit different.
Oh, yeah, that's escalated. Yeah.
That's not good. He's supposed to fight Felix Trinidad at Madison Square Garden in October.
Except,
a month from now. He's released after his lawyer charged that the arrest warrant used to detain him had expired Thursday, which was the day before. A judge ordered him freed and upheld an injunction filed that will allow his client to fly to go to New York. So it's crazy.
What the fuck?
He was then arrested. He was first arrested at the airport while trying to come back to the United States. The charge is a 20-year-old woman said that he beat her and sexually abused her after he invited her to his hotel room. He told the reporter that he had, quote, a normal relationship with her and that hotel employees are witnesses that she was happy when she left the hotel. He said, I gave her 2 bills of 500 Cordobas, which is about $30 each. So he gave her $60.
Okay.
And we said goodbye. That's what he said from his jail cell. I paid her for sex and she left. What the fuck?
$60, you guys.
He is then smoking a cigarette in the jail cell and asked the reporter to take a picture of him in a boxing pose while he's smoking in a jail cell. They said, what about your fight against Trinidad? He said, I think that it was suspended and Trinidad will fight somebody else, but I'm not sure. That's what he said. Don King said, I'll address it another time.
As soon as I figure out what the fuck's happening.
No, yeah, it's all good. September 29th, 2004, just these articles about him and what a fucking nut he is here. That's supposed to be the fight where he fights Trinidad and all this type of shit, but he's still got a lot of attention on him for all of his bullshit and everything else. He's still saying I had a normal relationship with her. That's what she said. That's what he keeps saying. Had a normal relationship.
What does that mean?
I don't. I guess that's conventional sex, just normal. I didn't even put it in her butt or nothing. Like it was, yeah. Bert Sugar, the longtime, the boxing reporter, Bert Sugar.
Yeah.
Wears the hat, the old-time reportery hat. He said he sort of embodies machismo. Is that... He's up for a rape charge. Don't say that the month he gets put up for a rape charge.
Embodies it?
In the ring he's talking about, I think.
Yeah.
He swings as if there's no tomorrow. Again, you could take that either way. Bert, he looks like he's throwing punches from the third row. Okay, there you go. Nice clarify. He does arrive at LaGuardia Airport with his hair dyed bright red and a shirt that has the date of the fight coming up and says Tito's retirement celebration, time to hang them up. And he also said he bet Felix Trinidad $100,000 in a personal bet on their fight as well.
Okay.
Mayorga said, it's a real bet. It's not putting any sort of pressure on me. In fact, I'm going to make sure he pays me after the fight. With that money, I'm going to buy myself a limousine, maybe 2, in Nicaragua, and name it Tito so that everyone remembers when I knocked out Tito.
That is such epic level trolling.
It's all he's doing. That's all he's fucking doing. So he's ready to go, he says. Mayorga said, I predict it's going to end between rounds 3 and 5. I don't really want to cause the Trinidad family any more grief, so I please ask the father to stay close and try not to let the fight go on longer than needed.
The father?
Yeah, that was, I think, his trainer. So he's talking to Don Felix Trinidad, who threw in the towel when he fought against Hopkins. So he's saying don't worry about that sort of thing. Sugar said there's no sweet science to his science. He's got one gear, and that's to throw punches as hard as he can. That's what it is. So Trinidad, honestly, it's a tough. You're trying to make a point if you fight this guy because there's really no reason. Trinidad said of himself, Tito is not coming to play in the ring. He's coming to fight, and will be hitting very hard against any challengers, even more when they have a big mouth. He doesn't understand whom he'll be in the ring with, so doesn't get it. So yeah, that's ready to go here. So here we go, rape charges and all. Felix Tito Trinidad, 41-1 coming into this fight.
Wow.
This is his comeback fight here. And Mayorga keeps running his mouth. He said, I'm not going to do it in the 6th, 7th, or 8th round because that's by that time he's going to be knocked out. But I'm going to do it, of course. I'm a man of my word, and I always do what I say. That's right. He's going to do that. He's going to name his limo Tito. This fight goes up until the 8th round where it is stopped. And Mayorga it's a TKO for Tito Trinidad here. Felix Trinidad
Is that
wins.
right?
Yes. Trinidad's a really good fighter.
He got knocked out. Didn't even go the distance. This is not good.
And fighting Bernard Hopkins, too. Bernard Hopkins is a bigger guy. He was just shaving weight off to get down.
Such a good boxer.
He's a middleweight, Bernard Hopkins. Yeah. Like he's not a fucking a welterweight or a super welter. So it's a tough fight for Tito. But then again, Tito ended up going up weight classes later on too. Yeah. So who knows? But they do that. He's 26-5-1 now. October 7th, 2004. Back to rape. He gets back to Nicaragua and is immediately ordered under house arrest at this point. Okay. He says it's consensual. He goes to court and his supporters are crying, let him out, let him out. And other people are crying, accomplices at those people. So there's, it's a lot. Yeah. So December 8th, 2004, he is found innocent of rape after a closed door trial that ended.
That feels fair.
17-hour hearing. Even better later on when you hear how close he is with the president of the fucking country.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a little bit fucking ridiculous how close he is. And by the way, if May 11th, 2005, if you happen to be in the Tampa area, you want to hit up this page in the newspaper because they have a whole lot of shit here. It's Oriental, quote, Aloha Oriental Spa, and it's a bunch of Jack Shacks and adult movie theaters all have ads in the same area.
It's just for pedicures, James.
One actually says, great sex. 1 hour pleasure in 5 minutes now available. So, I mean, that's not even trying to hide it at that point. Tampa Tribune, you're just airing that shit.
Fantastic.
August 4th, 2005, from the Boston Globe here. Mayorga says he's ready to inflict pain. Doesn't care that he lost. Yeah, he doesn't care. He's got to fight some guy now coming up, and he's saying that I don't even know this guy. I've seen tapes of this guy, and I don't really have a high opinion on him. I don't think he's going to be able to withstand my pressure. He's gonna get his pressure withstood. He says, just look at his record. Basically, he's fighting guys that are stepping on grapes to make wine. He's fighting an Italian guy. He hasn't fought a guy my caliber. You'll see when I knock him out in 2 rounds.
He's so politically incorrect.
He's just, yeah. He says, I was a great champion at the welterweight level, winning 2 or 3 titles. I went to the middleweight division, skipping 154, although I did make 1 fight there. I think, so that's not skipping it. You fought at 154. No. What are you talking about? I didn't do that except for the time I did that. Okay. I think my history as a welterweight and the decision to go to 154 pounds is sufficient enough to give me a shot at the title. Yeah, he's ready to go, and he thinks it's going to happen. He said, my head wasn't in the fight that night, but I want to repeat. I'm not making excuses, but it was a bad night for me. But he wants a repeat. He wants to do it. He's ready to go. Come on, let's do it. So he's fighting April 13th, 2005. He's fighting one of the most Italian men ever here. Yeah. Let's take a look at this guy.
Holy shit.
Look at him. Jesus Christ almighty.
Sausage and peppers breath, motherfucker.
I bought a pizza from that guy 3 days ago. So, Michel Pietragallo here.
Yeah.
Michel Pietragallo, alias the gentleman, for his good. He's known for his sportsmanship in the ring.
I am the eggplant.
Literally. No, don't say that, because Italian guys use that for a totally different fucking thing. And it's not the dick either. So
no, it's not.
That's a racial slur in the Italian community, not toward us.
No.
Used by us toward others. This is a 50-5 career fighter. 44-2 coming into this fight for the vacant WBC World Super Welterweight title. This fight goes all 12 rounds. So I don't know. It must be tough to stomp on grapes, I guess, because that's a pretty good deal here.
They're slippery.
And he does win Ricardo in a decision after 12 rounds. So 27-5-1 for him. Next up, he's fighting Oscar the Golden Boy De La Hoya.
De La Hoya.
Okay, May 6, 2006, definitely on the downside of Oscar's career.
Sure.
Oscar's 37-4 coming into this fight.
Really?
Yeah, 39-6 career for him. Not, yeah.
Huh.
The front end of his career was fantastic, and then the back end just really slid off. Oscar hadn't fought for 20 months before this fight either.
Almost 2 years.
Now, here is what he says. We're going to definitely do it in their own words on this one because, again, this is him saying it, not me saying it, and we have to repeat it. And if you have a problem with that, kindly stick your head directly up your ass and fart because fuck you. Okay, let's do it really hard. Like, and after you've had like a carne asada burrito from Filiberto's,
really push.
So it might not actually be all air. You never know.
Yeah.
So let's get into this. In their own words, quote, I'm going to make you my bitch. Yeah. You're going to be my bitch in my bed anytime I want you. I hate bitches, and I'm going to make you my little bitch. Tell your wife to fuck you in the morning so you stand and fight me. Don't take a dive like you did against Bernard Hopkins, faggot. I want to kill him. I want to stop his heart with my right hand. You can't even represent your race, bitch. All the Latinos are with me. That's what he just said.
He said that into a microphone.
He said that to a reporter and said, make sure De La Hoya hears that shit. And the rest of the world, too.
I hate bitches.
I hate bitches. And I'm going to make you my little bitch. He said, you're going to be my bitch in my bed anytime I want you.
He's essentially saying, I will rape you.
Yeah, they're not. If they were in prison together, I understand what he's saying. But this isn't a prison boxing match. This is out on the outside.
No, this is free world.
It's going to be at like Mandalay Bay. You know,
it's people will buy hotel rooms for this.
Wow, that is fucking amazing. And Mayorga goes on to say, I believe honestly that despite everything I told him and despite all the insults that we traded, I still don't think he's man enough to stand in front of me. Regardless, it's going to be the same result. I'm going to knock him out. I not only want to stop him, I want to stop his heart or detach his retina, one of the two. I really want to do damage to him.
I want to break internals on this man.
Jesus Christ, that is insane. This fight here is in the MGM Grand in Vegas. Only goes 6 rounds. De La Hoya just picked him apart the whole fight. He fucked him up. I mean, it wasn't much of a fight. It's a TKO in the 6th round for De La Hoya. Big win for him.
So much for a bitch.
He does. Okay, if you're going to say, is your style either a bitch style or not a bitch style and not a woman, which is a bitch ass, De La Hoya's style is a bitch style. I'm sorry. Not a woman style. He's not a fun fighter to watch.
No,
he's a boring, fucking backpedaling. When you watch the first fight against him and Felix Trinidad, when he beat Felix Trinidad, he fucking ran for the fucking last 5 rounds of that fight. Yeah. Trinidad was chasing him around the ring, and he was just backpedal. He wouldn't fight him. He's an Olympic-style points fighter, which is fine, but I don't want to watch that shit. Don't care.
Like he's in high heels in the ring.
Yes. So after the fight, though, Mayorga had a totally different tone. He said to De La Hoya, quote, "You are a great champion. You are a great fighter. I apologize for everything I said to you." And De La Hoya said, "I forgive you." And they were buddies after that. So May 12, 2006, Mayorga tests positive for a banned substance here.
What is it?
A diuretic after his weight loss, and they talk about. So he's going to be fined and suspended by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. He was drinking beer, so he needed to,
drop the weight fast.
Yeah, this is the executive director of the Athletic Commission said it's a diuretic. We don't know if he took it to help him lose weight, or it could be something he took to mask something else. Either way, it's a violation.
Yeah.
So Mayorga could lose a bunch of his estimated $2.5 million purse from the bout, too, from it, though.
Really?
This fight generated more than about $44 million in pay-per-view revenue.
Oh, fuck.
Back then, too. So Mayorga had threatened to pull out of the fight because he felt slighted because De La Hoya was guaranteed $8 million. So, Mayorga got knocked down in the first round, and it was just never really a fight. De La Hoya was on him the whole time. January 31st, 2007, in Nicaragua, Ricardo is arrested for fraud.
Uh-oh.
He's got a variety. It's like a fucking card. It's like a hand of poker. Shit.
He doesn't like to duplicate moves, though. I like that.
No. That's what I mean. He's got different stuff. He's got a 2, a 5, a jack, a 10. He's got all sorts of shit. He was arrested at the airport as he boarded a plane headed for the U.S. They just wait for him at the airport, is what it is here. Apparently, he was being held after Ramiro Sandino, a used car dealer, accused Ricardo of failing to pay him $56,000 for 4 cars. He said
cars?
He said he had turned the cars over to Mayorga in December 2005, and the guy promised to pay him after the De La Hoya fight, but he never paid him. So
he got him on credit?
We got him on credit. I'll get you after the fight. And they said, sure. Yeah, he's good for it. He's fucking making all this money, but now he doesn't know how much money he's making because his purse is being held up because he's got tested for a diuretic and all this type of shit. February 2nd, 2007, he is arrested again. This is within a week. 3 days later, he's arrested again for fraud again.
Yeah, he's doing all of this behavior based on living a life based on money that he might make.
That he's supposed to make. This time worse, accused of writing bad checks now. Yeah, not good. They dismissed the car thing as a civil matter. A judge dismissed it as a civil matter.
$56,000.
$56,000 would
civil matter
seems above a civil matter.
Yeah.
But then he was arrested again. In this one, 3 people have accused him of writing bad checks worth $87,000.
Oh my God.
Yes, and his brother, Ricardo's brother, said this isn't fraud. It's a debt that he's paying, and it's a civil matter, so this shouldn't be a crime. That's what he said.
I don't know. It's $130,000 of money that he's supposed to make.
In that country,
he's only making
so
2.5.
Yeah. That's so much money in that country, too.
He is spending it so fast.
So fucking fast. So, I mean, he's sitting in a Nicaraguan jail cell on 2 different fraud charges in 1 fucking week and all this shit.
Not good.
It's a mess, dude. He finally gets out. I mean, what's he going to do? He's got to
pay his debts back.
Yeah, you got to, like, slink through the city. Who else does he owe money? If there's these 2, I bet he owes a lot of people money.
Yeah, these are just the 2 that are willing to call the cops and talk about it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's probably a lot of people where he said, I'll get you back after the fight. Private people he borrowed money from, things
Something
like that.
under $5,000, yeah.
One thing, though, he's smoking and he's been drinking.
Oh, boy.
And what do you want after you're smoking and drinking, walking around? You're pretty hungry.
Food. Yeah.
You're pretty hungry. You start to smell shawarma, and I'll tell you what, boy. It's absolutely. He opens the door, and he's in the shop, and boom, it's the shawarma man.
Yeah.
And he says, how is it you've come to arrive here? Where you been for so long? Nobody come see me. Come in. Where are you? I make for you. Very nice. Wait a sec. Hold on. You say you want to pay. What is this? Hold on. You want to pay with post-dated check from 2 years from now from you get fight? No, I take cash only. A shawarma man. Cash only. No, you don't say that. No, I will not. I'm not your bitch. Don't say to me like that. No, not your bitch. No, you're that word, I tell you. No, you don't call me that. I carve you like lamb. Get out. No, sign say closed. You go now. Get out. And no shawarma for Ricardo. Poof. And the shop is gone. And
that's what happens. You don't say
that
word.
No, in a cloud of shawarma and onions, it's gone. And he's just very confused now.
Tomatoes and tzatziki. Sticking up your ass.
And tzatziki. Very confused. You don't call the shawarma man that word.
No, that word is not.
He will not take it at all. February 4th, 2007, he leaves prison. He's facing trial. He's got, he got bail, I guess, here. Mm-hmm. He had been arrested, like we said, for all these different things. May 13th, 2007, I guess it's all cleared up at that point. Yeah. It's all fine because now they're talking about him fighting Fernando Vargas at that point. Remember him with his stupid hair in the front there?
Yeah.
On a Showtime pay-per-view for the vacant WBC Continental America's super middleweight title. However, it was postponed after it was discovered that during a routine blood test, Vargas was suffering from a severe iron deficiency. I remember
is that right?
Yeah, a doctor ordered him not to participate in the bout until he received the necessary treatment to correct the problems and all that type of shit. So, that's what he's complaining about. They're talking about Vargas. So July 12th, 2007, they have a press conference, Vargas and Mayorga, and they have all sorts of shit flying here. Vargas is a similar kind of guy. So these two guys are very similar here. Ricardo, they said, quote, Ricardo Mayorga had blood-stained bruises on both cheeks, swelling around one eye, scratches on his neck, and dried splotches of blood on his shirt collar. Fernando Vargas, his shirt and jacket removed, was standing in angry defiance, flexing his muscles and shaking his fists. And this was only the news conference.
That's just the start.
Yeah, they said the violent clash between Vargas, who's from Oxnard, and Mayorga from Nicaragua, Wednesday afternoon in the Chick Hearn press room at the Staples Center, at a news conference to announce their fight there at the arena. Did not appear to be a Don King concoction, they said here. The animosity and fury seem genuine, as evidenced by the blood and bruises. So, yeah, they got in a fucking brawl there. Apparently, Mayorga got up to speak, and Vargas was talking, and Mayorga got up to speak, and Vargas didn't move, so Mayorga referred to him as fatty. Vargas always looked like he had a little pudge in his stomach.
Yeah.
And then he said something about Vargas's wife and mother.
Oh, fantastic.
So you want to add that in there. Then reached over and slapped Vargas as well.
You bitch.
So at that point, Vargas jumped to his feet and landed 2 fucking punches on him quick.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, and then everybody got in and there was chaos and all that kind of shit. And Vargas said they should have sold tickets to this. When he tried to slap me, he should have known I'm a counterpuncher, which is pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
Mayorga said through an interpreter, I am very upset. This is a man who idolizes the gang life. He had his whole entourage with him, but on September 8th, he won't have them. So November 2007, they're talking about he's working out in East L.A. That's what he's going to do. He's ready to go. Vargas, they're talking about Vargas's money. He said, I've got my investments. I don't have to work anymore. We're going to open some pizza restaurants. We're committed to at least 12. I'm a food connoisseur, you know.
I'm a foodie.
Yeah, that is because that's why they keep calling him Fatty. There.
Yeah.
That's what he says. He says, I'll get up to around 180 and stay there. I'll go to the gym. I'll lift to eat. I'll stay ripped. I'm ripped now, talking about his retirement. He's like, look, I'm still going to eat when I'm going to get fat, and that's what it's going to be. He said, I'm a Mexican from Oxnard. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but that's what he said.
There's a lot of food in Oxnard, I guess.
Apparently, so you get chubby, I guess, I suppose, here. So Don King, though, says Ricardo Mayorga fought his way out of the Nicaraguan barrio. He talks it as he walks it, I guess you might say. And Mayorga said, honestly, I'm going to knock him out. The main reason, I really don't like him. I put $1 million on myself in Vegas to win, and not only to win, but to knock him out.
God damn, that's awesome.
I don't believe it'll go more than 3 rounds, Mayorga says. I've been training very hard, especially for him, because I want to hit him as hard as I can hit him, more than any fighter I fought. And Vargas called Mayorga a stupid street fighter.
Okay.
He said, when I knock him down, I'm going to tell him to get up. I'm going to tell him to get up and remember what I said. Yeah. Wow, not bad. So they're going to get at least $5 million each out of this.
Wow.
Depending on the draw and everything like that. So not too fucking shabby of what they're doing. So Fernando Vargas, 26-4 coming into this fight, goes all 12 rounds.
My God.
And in a very close, here are the judges' cards, 115-111, 114-112, and 113-113.
So
one's a draw.
Split, I guess?
It'd be a majority decision because both of those, the 114, 112, and 115, 111 were in agreement for Mayorga gets the win here.
Really?
Decision. So, yes, he gets the win. And he's drinking and smoking. And they said, are you going to stop drinking and smoking? He says, that's how I became world champion, and I like it.
The roadmap to success has been printed, and it includes these Newports. I'm
Talk
sticking
mad
with
shit.
it.
Yeah, and shit talking, Newports, fucking my beer. I don't know what beer he's drinking, but something.
Whatever it is, yeah.
So, yeah, this is what he does. He's talking shit again now. He wants to fight Shane Mosley. So to have De La Hoya, Vargas, Mosley, Vernon Forrest, all these fights right in a row, these were all a bunch of big fights, as I thought maybe you'd heard of him from before here. So, he said, I'm ready to fight. I feel very strong. I'm focused. Let's do this. Shane Mosley, 44-5 coming into this fight at the Home Depot Center here in Carson, California.
I don't know
where that is.
Home Depot Center in Carson.
I don't know. It
not
goes
Fort Carson, not Carson City.
Carson. It goes all 12 rounds, though. Or no, it's in the 12th round. Shane Mosley knocks out Mayorga in the 12th round. So it's a knockout, but in the 12th round. Mosley just basically was avoiding his wild punches and kind of tied him up a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was that. So he's 28-7-1 at this point. But he's still a fun fighter. September 3rd, 2009, he's suing Don King. So he joins the long list of people who sued Don King.
Line.
Yeah. He does that. He's for failing to arrange fights and for violating the Muhammad Ali Boxing Reform Act by setting up a conflict of interest when King appointed his son Carl as Ricardo's manager.
Oh.
Conflict of interest. Yeah, he's controlling the overview and the
dipping.
one. Yeah. So Mayorga's attorney said our client is being held in a state of professional limbo. He hasn't boxed much lately because Don King hasn't gotten him any matches.
Yeah.
According to the suit, Mayorga had a contract that guaranteed him 3 matches from June 2008 to June 2009 unless he became world champion. And the complaint states that he was only offered 1 fight on February 14th. And they said the fight for that bout was to be about $400,000. And, Mayorga's lawyer said he's wasting what would be potentially the most profitable years of his career.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. He thinks he's unreliable, Don King, or he's just trying to fuck him over. I'm not sure. Who knows? September 8th, 2009, Mayorga signs with Shine Fights MMA.
Oh?
Okay.
What he's going to, what?
Yeah, they say he's going to do there. This is insane.
What year is this?
2009.
Oh, boy, long before it really caught on for a boxer to fight MMA. Is he going to actually fight MMA?
But he's in his 30s. This is just a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
MMA Mania here, said this about him. They talked about how he might fare in the MMA world. They said, well, he has no ground game. He's probably not going to try to learn a ground game anytime soon. So there's that. Right. If someone stands and trades punches with him, they're fucked, basically.
That's insane.
You can't do that. He'll knock out boxers, so he's definitely going to knock. Yeah. So they said he's got a phenomenal chin. Mm-hmm. You can't knock him out, and he will fucking knock you out, and he swings like a maniac. With those tiny gloves on, he'll take your head off. So they said the smaller gloves are also to his advantage because with big gloves, he knocks people out.
Oh, he's going to detach retinas.
So who knows? He's going to go out there and fight, but this is like a smaller Shine Fights MMA. So he's not fighting like the best in the world. He's fighting half-assed guys who haven't gotten there yet. So he's set to make his MMA debut in 2010. He's going to do it. He's going to fight against former UFC fighter Din Thomas.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know either. So they're talking about all that. May 15th, 2010, he's pulled from the Shine Fights World Collides events here for some reason. They reportedly conceded defeat and will host the card without the main event, they said. Apparently there was a problem. They said Mayorga's out, and Ninja Rua versus David Heath is the new headliner. Okay, well, they kind of wanted that famous guy, I assume, the people who bought tickets for it. Yeah. I would think here. December 9th, 2010 is what we're going to talk about here. Now there's charges of corruption. Okay.
Yeah.
This is Ortega. This is the leader down there in Nicaragua. And I'll read from the Miami Herald. Another Sandinista judge accused of complicity in the bribery scheme, Rafael Solis, denied that he took bribes, calling the WikiLeaks documents baseless, the Associated Press reported. In another case, the cable said that Ortega and his party blackmailed Nicaraguan boxer Ricardo Mayorga in 2004 after he allegedly raped a woman in a hotel room. They said Ortega and the FSLN agreed to protect the boxer in the courts if he would give the party a large portion of his international boxing winnings and advertise for Daniel in public. So be a proxy for him. Right. Much of Mayorga's winnings now reportedly go to Ortega, and when Mayorga fought in Chicago in August 2005, he dedicated the fight to Daniel Ortega.
Oh, my God.
He wore a shirt at one point, too, during all this. When they're being accused of all this, he wears a Daniel Ortega shirt in the ring. Like a fucking moron. So, again, December 15, 2010, they cancel another fight he's supposed to be in. Shine Fights 3 Worlds Collide.
Okay.
Not there either. He's not going to be, apparently. So, yeah, they said this court found that Mayorga is not a legitimate mixed martial artist and that Shine was not legitimately promoting him as one for this event. They said, and that's the only reason anyone attending this Worlds Collide event was to see how Mayorga fared as a boxer against an MMA fighter. So apparently there was a big thing about, it's because he has a contract with Don King still.
Oh, so they're
he's
like, not allowed to fight.
He
boxing.
could MMA fight, but he's a boxer and you're advertising him as a boxer fighting an MMA fighter. So
yeah, you can't do that.
Injunction basically is how that works. December 17th, 2010, he's boxing again. He fights Michael Walker, the Midnight Stalker.
Not bad, yeah. Run it, Dr. Seuss.
Well, he's 19-5-2 coming into this fight. His final record, 19-19-3. Never wins again.
Ever again.
Ever again. He gets TKO'd by Mayorga, and that's the end of the deal here. 29-7-1. It's January 3rd, 2011 that the WikiLeaks shit becomes public, and they find out that allegedly the Ricardo Mayorga rape case verdict was rigged.
That came out in the cables from WikiLeaks?
Yep. One section of the document entitled Nicaragua's Most Wanted, Part 1, The Crimes of Daniel Ortega and His Family, contains a bombshell that super middleweight Ricardo Mayorga, who is accused of raping a 22-year-old woman in September 2004, allegedly made a secret deal with President Ortega and for him to beat the charge. According to the document, now that they're public, They agreed to, like we said earlier, agreed to protect him if he gave money there. They said a lot of his money now goes to Ortega. And they said that little things here. The Supreme Court in Nicaragua had initially cleared Mayorga of the rape case. A lower court found irregularities in the trial in 2005 and ordered a retrial, only to be blocked by the Supreme Court, which quashed the lower court's ruling again, clearing Mayorga. So the Supreme Court just said, don't worry about it. Fuck it.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's the whole thing is coming out now. And, yeah, it's weird. So he's mixed up with the president down there who's rigging his rape cases, and he's a fraudulent guy, and he's punching. He's a fucking mess at this point.
He sure is. He's a nightmare.
He's leaving a trail of shit behind him, and I feel bad for the people who have to fucking clean it up and everything.
Right.
What about Double Diana? How do you think they feel about all this?
Double Diana.
Double Diana. That's how Michael Jackson originally sang it, but it didn't work out. So I feel bad for little Ricardo Jr. I feel bad for all these people, Jimmy, but not nearly as bad as I feel for Ricardo Mayorga, a teacher in the Los Angeles Unified School District.
East L.A.
Who went to UCLA there. Ricardo Mayorga, warehouse associate in Rhode Island at Medline Industries. Got to have that. And then finally, Ricardo Mayorga, co-host Destino Euro 2016 and Jorge Ramo and Sue Banda.
What is
He's a sportscaster.
Oh, okay.
He's a sportscaster, a talent on ESPN Deportes radio network.
Fantastic.
So he's mixed up in sports. Yeah, that's fucking hilarious. I love
Ricardo Mayorga.
Sports. This guy.
ESPN.
February 28th, 2011 here.
Yeah.
Now there's a weird fluff piece in toprank.com. Just a weird little thing where they talk about how now he's just a nice guy. Yeah. All of a sudden he goes from he's this killer to I'm a nice guy. He loves to listen to romantic music.
What is that?
I don't know. He said his favorite singer is Anna Gabriel. Beats me.
Is that Peter's daughter?
I think it is. She's only sings in Spanish though. It's really weird. You should hear Shock the Monkey in Spanish. It's really something special. Salisbury Road's a different fucking case when you put it in Spanish.
Sledgehammer's
pretty wild. He said he enjoys the typical foods of Nicaragua and misses home cooking when he's out fighting.
Yeah.
Oh boy, just a regular guy like you and me. March 12, 2011, he fights Miguel Cotto, 35-2 fighter coming in and a real good fighter too. Yeah. Really, really good fighter. This fight goes all 12 rounds. Mayorga is knocked down in the 12th round but gets back up, but the ref waves it off, and it's a TKO in the 12th round, a loss for Mayorga again now.
God damn it.
So it's not going well at this point here. And also they said that at one point it looks like Mayorga may have dislocated his left arm in the exchange. He calls
his raping arm?
I think it's his holding down raping arm.
That's not good.
Got to watch out for that. He needs that for later. It said it looks like that's why the ref called off the fight, because it looked like he fucked up his arm. Mayorga actually dislocated his thumb.
Oh.
And he said, he said later, I felt my thumb touch the back of my hand. I hate the way this fight ended.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah. So he's not doing great, obviously. This was bad.
That's so bad.
Yeah, Cotto said the game plan was not to get caught up in any of his antics. He was very heavy-handed. I felt his punches the whole fight. So he hits hard. He just had to let him not. You can't let this guy hit you. He'll fuck you up.
No.
He's like Cam Newton. You don't want him to.
Yeah.
You don't mess with the man. Look up the video.
It's unbelievable.
If you haven't seen of a bunch of people attacking Cam Newton and him throwing them off. It looked like Seagal in a ninja movie. Like that's what he was. He's just standing there, ponytail not moving, just grabbing one guy, throwing another guy.
Better than Seagal because he kept his fucking hat on.
Yeah.
A wide-brimmed fucking Pharrell hat.
Yeah.
Unbelievable wide-brimmed on-the-range hat. Kept it on while he pummeled people.
Hey, don't fight giant men who are top-notch athletes. Even because he can't read a defense doesn't mean he can't whoop your fucking ass. There's a big difference there.
He can still read your telegraphed punches, you novice.
Oh, yes, he can. Oh, man. So now he decides that he's going to retire from boxing and get into MMA again.
Oh, boy.
He's going to do it. So apparently He fights Wesley Tiffer on May 3rd, 2013.
Okay.
And originally, apparently, the fight is originally called a TKO win for Mayorga.
Oh.
But then it is overturned, and they call it a no contest because they say the knees he was using were illegal knees.
How?
Yeah.
How?
So I don't know how that works.
Aren't you allowed to knee people in the fucking face in that sport?
That's what I don't know. But also, they're kind of being a little loosey-goosey with the rules for Ricardo because he came into the fight 20 pounds over the weight limit, but they still let him fight.
Yeah, let the heavy fuck go.
Yeah. This was Omega MMA Battle of the Americas. Apparently doesn't give a shit here. By the way, it took him a week to overturn it also. And
overturn the 20-pound rule?
Overturn the fight because of the knees. Then he's suspended for 3 months for being 20 pounds over the contracted 165 weight limit.
Okay.
So not great. Next up, in the World Series of Fighting 1, Central America, in 2013, he fights Rene Martinez and loses by submission to a guillotine choke.
Uh-oh.
Then he is 0-2, or 0-1 then. Then he fights Sergio Ortiz and loses a split decision to him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's fucking 0-2 in MMA.
Yeah.
And one person said, quote, "You could see how disappointed Mayorga was when he didn't get his hand raised. I was thinking it'd just be a cash grab, but dude put in work. He wanted the W. He looked decent in there considering he's a 40-year-old boxer." Yeah. Look decent considering this isn't his sport and he's fucking 20 years older than all these guys. Next up, he fights Ortiz again and loses by submission to armbar. So now he's 0-3, not terrific, and he will retire from MMA.
Done with that, huh?
Done with that. That didn't work out. Next up, Jesus Christ. September 27th, 2014, Alan Funky Cold Medina.
Yeah.
He fights a boxer. He's back into boxing now. He's 9-23-1 coming into this fight, this guy.
Oh, no.
He'll finish 9-25-1. This fight, not at the MGM, not at the, Mandalay Bay, not at MSG or the Staples Center. OKC Downtown Air Park, Oklahoma City.
Yikes.
Not good. He does knock this guy out in the first round. So, as he should, for Christ's sake, Mayorga.
Yeah.
38-1. Next up, Andrique Saraligiu is his name. He fights a guy nicknamed Loco. He's 7-1 coming into this fight, and he was, I guess, this Loco got knocked down in the fourth round and got cut over the eye, and then doesn't come out for the fifth round. So they count him out whilst he's seated on his stool.
Because he won't come out.
Yeah. He won't come out. So 31-8 for our guy here. Then, August 14, 2015, Don King files a lawsuit to prevent Shane Mosley and Ricardo Mayorga from fighting each other. He's suing, says that Mayorga is still under a promotional agreement, which the guy signed in 2009, which is 6 years ago.
Okay.
They said according to the documents, Mayorga signed this memorandum of understanding in 2014 to reaffirm that Don King's promotional contract is still valid. And now he's saying it's not. So whatever ends up happening, August 29, 2015, is Sugar Shane Mosley versus Mayorga here. So here we go. The Mosley is on the event, is doing the event. He puts on a press conference with his girlfriend, Trista Paisani, who hosted it. And before the face-off, Paisani bent over to do something, and Mayorga slapped her on her ass. Yeah.
Well done, you piece of shit. Well done.
Causing a melee on stage. And Paisani offered Mayorga $10,000 to allow her to beat him up. This all sounds staged.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
This sounds like a wrestling angle. You slap her on the ass, I'll come up, be mad. Yeah. So she said $10,000 to let me beat you up. He responded, "How about for another $25, I get to slap your ass again?"
Yeah.
And the WBC accused the incident of being staged, and Mosley denied it. So even the boxing thing said, don't do that staged bullshit.
We know what you're doing, you sons of bitches.
It's one thing to say they're going to get up there and start pushing and shoving each other.
Yeah.
That's fine. But to have, like, you're going to slap her ass and then you say
sexual assault? Come on.
They did a blocking run through, like a rehearsal. You know what I mean? Like, you better angle yourself this way. And then you say this. So he fights Mosley. Same result. He's knocked out in the 6th round. Mosley beats him again. So, he's not going well here. Mosley said he talks crap. That's what he does. But he's not really as bad as he is. But he does have a sharp tongue and a big mouth, especially if you can understand what he says. If you speak Spanish, it's really annoying. Sometime in 2016, a photo of him comes out. He's at a gas station in broad daylight. I'll show you the picture.
Oh, boy.
Shit face passed out on leaning against a beam of some kind. Broad daylight at a gas station.
Look at how fat he is.
See the gut in this area here?
Yeah.
Yeah. He looks like he just got off of like a day labor job at this point because he looks fat and he looks tired. So, but he was drunk is the problem. Broad daylight. Yeah. His wife at this time, Hernia Silva is her name. New wife. Who knows how many wives this guy's fucking had. She said, no, the photo's 4 years old. And he said that shows him asleep after an exhausting walk he took with his ill son to a clinic.
Oh, he was being such a good dad.
Yeah, he wasn't drunk at a gas station in the middle of the day. He was exhausted. He walked 30 miles in each direction. Other people said, no, it was taken after he locked himself out of his car and just took a nap. That's what happened.
It was exhausting.
Yeah. So the wife said, or no, this isn't the wife. This is somebody else. I don't know who this is, but she said, any of us could fall very low inadvertently contaminated by drugs and alcohol. Please do not collaborate in the self-destruction of a man's life who was the sporting glory of our country. He was the biggest star in the country, sports-wise. I
believe it, yeah. I don't know anybody from Nicaragua.
No, he was the Ali of that country.
Yeah,
he really was.
Sure.
October 24th, 2016, he crashes his car into a taxi.
Uh-oh.
And then is pursued for $200,000 in damages here.
Mm-hmm.
This is in Colombia, actually.
Oh.
According to the details claimed by the taxi driver, Virgilio Roblito, Mayorga was driving his sports car at a high rate of speed and crashed into the guy's right side, totaling this man's taxi. The driver wants $200,000. Mayorga's insurance policy here wants them to settle the issue because the taxi's his only source of income, and he's got to sue. So this guy says, I was making a turn with my taxi that night. I was just about to reach the roundabout, so I slowed down to see a sports car coming at me at a fast rate of speed, hit my car on the right side. We are making a claim for the insurance policy connected to the car driven by Mayorga because this will cover all costs. We believe this will be solved in the best way because in most cases the insurance will react when this type of damage occurs. So, yes. December 14th, 2016 here, according to sources in Nicaragua, he is attacked at a gas station now.
Uh-huh.
And here he is after the attack at a gas station. There's a picture of him.
Oh, they got him.
Scratched up and shit like that here. Took place at a gas station in Managua. Mayorga and an unknown individual got into some type of argument over waiting at the pump. The unknown assailant attacked Mayorga with a club and struck him several times. You better bring a club.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's 45. If you're street fighting, this guy's going to fucking tear your head off your shoulders, man. Are you kidding me?
But they got him. They took it took it to him and brought the club and hit him with it.
Don't let him get within arm's reach to get this club out because we've seen boxers when they fight regular people in the streets. It's not pretty. I mean,
no. That goes south fast.
Yeah, we've brought it up many times. The Michael Carbajal footage of him and a 110-pound guy just beating a man, standing unconscious on his feet, holding him up with punches. We're like, holy shit. So, he says he's still trying to get back in the ring here. He wants to fight again.
What?
He's 43, and
don't do that, old man.
Yeah, he owes money with the taxi, and he's getting beat up at fucking, gas stations. But doesn't matter. April 1st, 2017, Jodil Zabata here, alias Negro. So, 12, 17 and 1 coming in. He'll end up 13, 33 and 1.
Oh my God.
Jesus, this fight, the Zapata refused to continue fighting in the middle of the third round. He just quit and stopped. So I'm done fighting.
In the middle of the third.
The middle of the third. He's like, enough. I'm done. Just like he starts hiding behind the referee. That's it.
I've exhausted all my weapons. I'm out.
That's it. So he that's a TKO in round 3. So 32-9-1. November 2nd, 2007 here. He still wants to box. He wants to fight Andrei Sirotkin here in Russia is what he's trying to do.
Oh.
His Russian opponent is 13-0. So they want to bring this famous guy in.
Right.
So this Russian guy can knock him out, and then he looks like he's whatever. They're promoting the shit out of it. They're because he's a famous guy.
Right.
And nobody wants to go fight in Russia, really. Not a lot of big fights take place there outside of Rocky IV.
Right.
You don't really see a lot here. That's what he wants to do. November 3rd, 2017, Trade Union Sport Palace, Nagorny Nizhny Novgorod, Russia. So there you go. For the vacant WBA Intercontinental Super Middleweight title. This fight goes 9 rounds, and Ricardo he's injured in some way and cannot come out for the 10th. So he loses here to this guy. That Russian will end up 21-2-1 for his career, by the way.
Not bad.
Next up, April 7th, 2018, he's still fighting.
Jesus, are you kidding me?
This is ridiculous here. Rodolfo Gomez Jr., known as Cobrita, Little Cobra, I suppose.
Oh, the Little Cobra.
Little Cobra. Wow, he's
baby Cobra.
Little baby Cobra. He's 12-4-1 coming in. He is 14-7-3 for his career. So not a great fighter here.
No.
This is at the Laredo Energy Arena in Laredo, Texas.
Yikes.
And I bet you Rodolfo's a hometown guy, too.
Probably.
This fight goes 8 rounds, and Mayorga loses a TKO to this guy.
It's over, man. Get
to
out.
The Little
45.
Cobra. Yeah, dude, it's over. You're losing to mediocre fighters now. Next up, he fights Lester Martinez.
Yeah.
His real name, by the way, Lester Normandy Martinez Tut is his full name. Tut, T-U-T, like King Tut. Yeah. Lester Martinez. This is his debut fight. He will be 16-0 in his career, though, and then retire for some reason.
Really?
Yes, this takes place in Guatemala City. It is a second-round TKO loss for Mayorga.
Great fighter.
Mayorga's got to stop. He's 46 years old. They're saying that he's just getting pummeled from the start. Like he has no chance. He's too slow. He's too fucking slow.
He's old. It's over.
Yeah, he's in his late 40s now.
Yeah.
That's enough. Like you can't be in your late 40s and keep fucking fighting. That's not going to work for anybody. So he's doing it. They said, as long as because he keeps saying he's going to keep fighting.
Are you serious?
He's like, I'll keep fighting.
He just loves this. It's the only way he can pay his bills. He probably has large bills, right?
I think that's the other thing, too. His money, he's probably got a lot of people to take care of, I assume, his family and shit like that. So when you have a lot of people on your payroll, it's very difficult here. Here is a picture of Ricardo.
Okay, let's have a look, see at this
after being beat up here. He's
recovering. In the hospital?
Sleeping, yeah. There's
oh, my God.
His shoulder's fucked up. That's why he didn't come out, because there's a dislocation in his shoulder.
Sure is,
His brain's fucked up. He's got all sorts of problems here. So
the blue blankets.
Yeah, an issue. He is recovering. That was recovering from the fight. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was not the fight. This is on January 24th, 2020. He was severely beaten by robbers.
In his own house?
Yeah, I guess he took a severe beating from a group of unknown assailants in his hometown. He was assaulted and beat to a degree that it had multiple fractures. He was heading home after going shopping for breakfast when an unknown group of people sought to rob him.
Wow.
And he was hit with a blunt object in the head and then to different parts of the body. So they beat him with a blunt object till he was unconscious.
Yeah. And they know he's made money, so you got to get out of there. You can't be doing that.
He's walking back and forth.
Yeah.
They took his watch, cell phone, cash, some clothes, and his IDs as well, because you can sell those now.
Yeah.
So, he's all sorts of robbed, and he's in a bad place. Yeah. So August 9th, 2020, he's in need of help, he says. The help he needs is he needs to kick drugs and alcohol. Yep, he's all fucked up. He's lost a lot of weight. He agreed to enter rehab in an effort to kick his drug and alcohol problems now. They said that he squandered millions of dollars he earned in his rig career. He's been assaulted in the streets. He's a mess now. He says he's willing to work hard to get clean and sober, and he can do what he thinks. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to try to do that. He needs to, obviously. He can't be old and have brain damage.
No.
So he's continuing drug rehab October 2020. They said Ricardo Mayorga has been fighting the most important battle of his life. And although for a short while he was against the ropes, now he's found a way to defeat that fearsome rival of drug and alcohol addiction.
Yeah.
So they said his boxing family's been there with him. He left the rehabilitation center, and now he's reunited with his family, and he's ready to go. He's also accepted the help of Julio Cesar Chavez, the boxer, longtime boxer here, who was 11 years clean and sober at this point.
Yeah.
So he was
going to say Jesus Cristo.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
So he's helping him and all that sort of shit. June 11th, 2022, he is okay. It's a mess. This is a translated article from a Nicaraguan news or a South American newspaper. They said Mayorga confirms the absence of voters in receiving boards. Former Nicaraguan boxer Ricardo Mayorga went this Sunday to participate in the electoral farce carried out by the dictatorship of Daniel Ortega and Rosario Murillo on November 6th. And after testifying before spokespeople in the official media, he confirmed the process was fast because it was empty. And so empty was the vote receiving board located in the Manuel Fernandez neighborhood of Sabana Grande in Managua, which the former Nicaraguan boxer went, who refrained from thanking the dictatorship for going to vote. He said, well, first of all, you have to thank God, right? What can I tell you? I feel happy. I feel good. I had to make my vote because logically, like every citizen, you have to make your vote. I did it well already. I'm very happy. And they said, Ricardo, is the process fast? And he said, yes, very quickly. It was empty, thank God. So they're talking about essentially here that people, no one's voting there because they know it's a dictatorship already, yeah, so it doesn't matter. So they said, Mayorga said everyone has to choose where they are going to vote. I guess so. So he said, I didn't want to come from the morning. They said a citizen living in the St. Juan distribution who attended the National University of Engineering almost at the same time that the appointed mayor of Managua went to vote in the face of in the farce of municipal elections on November 6th, described the rickety influx of people to the polling stations installed in its higher education center. Quote, I didn't want to come from the morning because the Sandinistas of my neighborhood turned the orientation for days to their militants and sympathizers who came to make their vote early, and the truth is that my house, my children aren't involved in that, but I am a liberal, but I wanted to come and see with my own eyes this robbery that they do with these municipal elections. Nobody wants to participate in these elections. Apparently, Mayorga is just like, it's great. It's really great that I get to vote, and they don't count, apparently. So it's interesting here. But I don't know what he's doing here. They talk about Mayorga, and here at I'll let him close out his own story here.
Fantastic.
This is from Sports Illustrated 2003, and they talk about his aggressive punches and all that, and he says, quote, I know I pushed the envelope of danger, but God has been very good to me. I should probably be dead by now.
That's true.
I don't know how the fuck he's still alive, this guy.
Yeah, he's been robbed. He's been beaten. He's been stabbed. He clubbed before he even started this shit. Clubbed after it.
Yeah. He had clubbing bookends here.
Yeah.
So the net worth, a couple of sites all kind of agree that his net worth is around $2 million, but I think he pissed it all away. I'm not sure.
It's got to be a lot less than that, right?
Not a lot of drug addicts have $2 million sitting around. You know what I mean?
No.
I mean, he might have 8 houses or something worth that money. I have no idea.
I can't imagine if he has 8 houses in
who knows?
Nicaragua, they're worth more than $150,000.
Yeah, I was going to say, but maybe they're mansions. Who knows? Can't get enough Ricardo Mayorga? Well, you can buy the vintage Oscar De La Hoya versus Ricardo Mayorga boxing poster. It's the fight poster. It says De La Hoya versus Mayorga, danger zone under it.
Cool.
$20.95. It has
Not
7
bad.
watchers, too, on eBay. People are watching this.
Fucking beat him.
And then a Ricardo Mayorga signed 8x10 photo of him in the ring with a belt on, saying he's number one. $49.99. Buy it now.
That's steep, right?
With $4.50 shipping. Yeah, you could just find him passed out at a Nicaraguan gas station. I bet he'd give you an he'd probably give you an autograph, bust one
Give
off
him a
for you
20,
real quick.
yeah.
Or there is a Miguel Cotto Ricardo Mayorga ticket from the MGM fight in 2011. $39.99 for that ticket here.
Is it signed?
No, it's just a plain
just a
old
ticket of Cotto.
ticket used there. So that, everyone, is Ricardo Mayorga.
Wow.
Double Diana, little Ricardo Jr., and a fucking mess of a life that this guy has made for himself.
And a poor raped woman in Nicaragua? Jesus.
All rigged.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Wow.
They got him out of it. No problem.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
That's fucked up, man.
That's fucked, man. So there he is. If you enjoy that show, damn it, tell everyone about it. If you're a Crime and Sports listener, spread the show. It really does help us immensely to do that. So tell your friends, comment on the shit, like it, and do all that garbage. I don't fucking know. You know how to spread shit. Spread it. Help us.
Yeah.
Crime and Sports Movement. Do it. So do that. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get all your merchandise as well while you're doing that. And also get your tickets to live shows for Small Town Murder. All sorts of shit there. You'll find it. Follow us on social media. We are at Crime and Sports on Facebook and Twitter. We're at Small Town Murder on Instagram.
Right.
So do that. You any show ideas, by the way, things like that, feel free to send them in. It is research at Crime and Sport, or at Shut. No, it's not, because it's a different one. It's Crime and Sports one there.
Do we have research at Shut Up and Murder? Give me.
Is it Crime and Sports? I don't remember. You know what? Never mind. Look on the website.
We don't have crimeandsports.com.
We do. We have
but
we have a research email specifically for Crime and Sports. So it's on the.
I don't know.
It's on shutupandgivememurder.com. There are links there for all that shit.
Yeah.
So check all that out. I should have never started down the road of explaining that.
Well, it's all right. I
That
don't
was
know our website.
Fucking ridiculous. No. So anyway,
Thank you.
Patreon. Thank you. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of your bonus material. Anybody $5 a month or above. The best goddamn value in podcasting. A mere cup of coffee.
Yeah.
But better than a cup of coffee. You're going to get a couple hundred back episodes to binge on immediately. And they're growing fast, too. It's like 250 or something now. And then you are going to get new episodes every other week, including this week, one Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder, and you get it all, goddammit.
Yes.
This week, what we're going to talk about for Crime and Sports, it's personal ad time again. Oh, it's back again. We're so excited. We are going to hear about how to find love in the 80s and 90s, which was to put a little ad in the newspaper saying what you're looking for and what you're all about. And pay by the letter and see how that goes.
One step above a homing pigeon.
Yep. And then sit by your mailbox and wait for a response. So there's that. Then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about the Collier brothers, a pair of shut-in brothers who got very, very large, and then just one of them like died in the house, and the other one didn't say anything, and then they both died, and they had to cut a wall out to take them out. And lots of hoarding and crazy story of some weird shit. We'll talk all about that. Patreon.com/crime and sports. And you get a shout out.
You bet.
At the end of the show, which is shit. This is the end of the show. That means the shout outs are coming right goddamn now. Jimmie, hit me with them like a fucking lead pipe to the head when I'm 7 years old. Right now.
This week's executive producers are Sarah Bajoy Kimose.
What's that?
Kimose? Kimose. I don't know. It's
Why,
Kimose,
thank you.
maybe? Kathleen Hayden, thank you so much. That was nice. Shelley Roberts and the gals from Gun Barrel, Texas. Thank you so much. You're terrific. Franny in Australia, thank you. I miss you too much. Kyle Norwig, you're such a doll. I can't wait to meet you. You're not one of the bad Kyles, Norwig. Stan and Diana, I think it's Diana, it may be Diana, in the UK. Thank you guys all
Thank you.
so much for
Fucking
participating, being a part of this, and buying me nice things for my birthday.
Oh,
Other
you're so
producers
nice.
this week are Angela's Cat Sprinkles, who was murdered by Dwight, Andy Zoff, Bigfoot historian Bob Titmus. Do you know who that is? I don't know who that is.
I
Is that a
don't.
person? Are we supposed to know who that is?
I don't know if it's a reference to something we're not getting. Or
and
what,
Andy's off is a reference to something else. I don't know. But I do know that Angela's cat is from The Office. Andy might be from The Office also. Who knows? Peyton Meadows, Mo Gibbs, Janice Hill, Scarlett Horbeast III and her brother Rusty, Alicia Renee, good. Ace Handlin. You got to talk about her. She's wonderful. Sandy Beck, Kim with no last name. They calls me Teddy Burr. Elena Darter, Jessica Ogden, Rachel Whitehead, Alec Abelman, Abel Mann, Lady Amalthea. That's what it is. Amy Scott, Julie Porche, SVB, Amanda 3, Katie Hayes, Marty Coalfield. Yep. Emily Lang, Matt with no last name, Delta Dawn, Christopher Phillips, Porsche, Wolford, Chris with no last name, Peyton Nolan, Carly Abbott, Raymond Bluebell, Kelly Denton, Donna with no last name, Talar with no last name. No, it's Talar R. Tyler. It might be Tyler. Tilar. That's not Tyler, is it? Fucking
L-A-R. Talar?
It could be Tyler. What Pilar is with a P, right? Tilar, I guess.
That's
if it's Tyler, beat your mother to death,
or your father, whoever fucking decided
whoever did that
that.
to you.
Yeah,
LB Nartfarker. What is this? Nafzinger. Nafziger. Nartfarker. Kendall Osborne, Kyle F. There's another good Kyle. Rebecca McElhenney. Oh, like the Tabasco sauce. The obstinate McElhaney. Yes. Is that how it's?
Rob.
Is that?
McElhaney.
And Rob Mack. That's right. But isn't that the makers of Tabasco? McElhenney.
Beats the shit
I think
out of
that's
me.
the owners of Tabasco. The obstinate daughter, obstinate. Yeah.
Give us that Tabasco money.
Maria Jones, Noel Delaforet, Ava Erlia, Nicole Hennessy, Corey with no last name, Brett Ross, Steve Tidwell, Travis Thomas, George One Ball Wonder Blake, Cindy English, Rebecca Buchanan, Shannon McKinley, Scott Elbert, Stephen Cook, Ashley Proctor, Amanda Sikorsky, Courtney Schultz, Devin Brashear, Chad Litzinger, Grace Poffley, I don't know. Dawn Abramo, Heidi with no last name, James Gonzalez, Jamie Byrne, SD, the letters S and D, like a card. Amber Carter, M. Williams, Talonda Robinson, Michael Belcher, Sam Thompson, Ashley Graham, Ray Stebbins, Adrian Aquino, Aaron with the letter A. I don't know, sorry. Brittany Drawhorn, Toriana Munari, Dorothy Ann Pierce, Joseph Johnson, Aaron P., Carl Wenzel, Ben Tuttle, Luke Hilton, Craven Moorhead, all right, Natalia Destin, Sam Grisafe, Melissa Pearson, Leighton with no last name, Jim and Kim Cody, Mary Zart, Hannah Bement, John Barlow, Cloud 7A, James with no last name, Andy Beecham, Shane Whitaker, Ethan Rye, what is this? Rhea Marsh, Kyle Pancake, I doubt it, Kelly Campbell, Tracy Thomas, Jim Jam, Sean Slade, Jill Fister, Casey with no last name, Casey Witten. That's two different Caseys spelled different ways.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's
Cassie,
too much for me.
Casey Witten and Cassie all donated right in a row. That's unbelievable.
You guys are... They did that on purpose. They coordinated.
Truly. That's fucking... that's never happened
Stop
before.
confusing
Liz,
us.
with no last name, Melissa V, Ronnie Grubb, Megan Wright, Jesse with no last name, Cody Butler, Jody Boyer. What? Cody and Jody.
Cody and Jody. Butler and Boyer.
It's true.
What's happening?
Kathy Margulies, Megan Orr, Jack
daughter.
Miller, Sinead Birmingham, Morgan Thomas, Janelle Borgstrom, Leanne Corbett, Andy Muth 1, Sasquito, David Wilbur, Lilac Lavender, Tyler Weath, Robert Poe, Casey Ort, Jada Lynn, Skylar with no last name, Miss Britt, Mel Shoebridge, Kimmy Wolf, Nicholas Hobbs, James with no last name, Robin Ragsdale, Sean with no last name, Emily Satori, Johnny Luth, Tracy with no last name, Jesse Marie, Amy Frick, Kevin Child, Scott Frank, Jenny Rimar, I'm not saying Rimmer, I won't say Rimmer, H.M. Redden, Nikki with no last name. Abriana only.
Sure.
Sean Campbell, Salem Golden. Steve Cecil, Aiden Wynn, Molly with no last name, Daniel Namislaw, Johnny Parks, Lauren Nogel, not going back, Shannon K, Stephen Scattergood, Dead World, Christopher Cardona, Sarah Sowers Stone, Stephanie Thompson, Laney with no last name, Savage Randy, I see what you did, Jasmine Goodman, Damon Widensall, Jacob R, Christy Duffin, Selena with no last name, Rhonda with no last name, Jessica Nelson, Chelsea B, Stephanie Robinson, Dallas White, Nikki with no last name, Melody Wright, Cambria White Walker, Wyatt Walker, got it. Shannon Welichko, Brian Duchette, Justin Griggs, Jerry Frampton, and all of our patrons. You're fucking incredible.
Thank you, everybody. You fantastic, wonderful beasts. We cannot thank you enough for all that you do for us. And
shocking.
Making this show a thing. So thanks for what you do, and thanks for everything. And we're coming up on 400, too, so that's going to be something fun. We're very excited. You want to follow us on social media, you can go ahead and just check out the drop-down menu there on the website, and there's links to all that shit. Come hang out with us on the side and do that shit, and try not to get clubbed at a gas station.
Right.
Live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Big news! Wayfair's President's Day clearance is on now. Through February 18th, you can get up to 70% off all things home. Score deals on living room furniture, kitchen and dining, bedroom furniture, and more. Our President's Day clearance is kind of like a present. President's Day? While we workshop that, you can shop Wayfair's biggest deals since Black Friday with free and easy shipping straight to your door. Shop Wayfair's President's Day clearance today at wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.